side is being kept clear for the moment. If Colorado State wins it, that will end here today. Utah will be working into the breeze with their first possession. Napier to kick it off. We are underway. Cal Beck at the goal line. Beck for Utah swings outside to the left and has an alley. 25 down at the 29-yard line, where the Utes and quarterback Mike McCoy, number 10, will put it in play. Here's the young man who was at Long Beach State, and when they gave it up, he transferred to Utah. Curtis Marsh is his big play wide receiver, number 18. Keep an eye on him. Good, solid offensive line. Anthony Brown, a 300-pounder, number 74, especially talented on pass blocking. He'll be over on the left side. First play of the game, Charlie Brown, number 23, is the running back for the Utes. Brown, right side, 3 yards and down. Defensively for the Rams and coach Sonny Lubeck, Kenya Ragsdale returns as their middle linebacker. He missed last week against UTEP because of an injury, but 97 back in there in the middle of the defense. Andre Strode, number 15, leads a very talented quartet of defensive backs. And Dick, it figures that those defensive backs will be challenged by Utah before long.
Well, Utah has been a big play team, but they're going to go a little more conservative today because Colorado plays so much zone coverage, Brent.
Second down and 7 for the Utes. First play, they swing it out to the back, Rob Hamilton of San Diego. First down, Utah.
In talking with Mike McCoy, the quarterback, he said they're just going to pick and choose, sort of take what they give them attitude, attacking the zone defense. The other thing they told us they're going to do, Rick Rasnick, the coordinator, said they're going to spread their formations more than they have at all times and stretch that zone, Brent.
Ball at the Utah 43-yard line. U Stadium rocking in Fort Collins. 4-man defensive line for the Rams. Brown swings away from one, but he cannot get away from Scott Lynch, the strong safety.
Scott attacked that play. He saw the ball toss. That's one disadvantage of the toss. You can see it right now from the safety position. He will approach this play inside out from the right side of your screen. See, the ball's in the air. He's lined up wide on the slot. Here he comes, 23. He tries to get his hat across the bow. He doesn't make it, but he still gets the play.
Now 2nd and 11. 4 wide receivers. Here's a formation that Utah likes. They bring 3 out to the right. You can see him at the bottom of your screen. That gives the one at the left man-on-man coverage against the corner if they want to go in that direction. They don't. Instead, they pick up Kozlowski. David Kozlowski, the receiver.
Brent,
there's a penalty flag, Dick.
That is a new formation. They've used that same set as we looked at on tapes, but they've widened it out much further.
Today, Coach McBride for Utah. On this wind, you couldn't look for the big passing play either. It's 2nd and 16. Utah not wanting to turn it over. Couple of downs to get 16 yards of the first down has to be the coach's thinking at this point. There's a quick screen to Marsh. Marsh with an alley, and they hit him at the 44. Kenya Ragsdale on him.
Those type of plays are just like a wide sweep play, Brent. They get the ball out to the wide receiver quickly, and they don't use linemen to block the perimeter. They use the receivers. One guy blocks down, one guy kicks out. It's like a running play in the wide field.
Now, Dick, they're left with 10 yards for their first down. They must reach the Rams' 47-yard line, Utah's first possession of the day.
I tell you, Colorado State has been tough to convert third down situations against. They've only given up 30%. That's the second best in the WAC conference.
Colorado State's tackling has been very crisp here in the early going so far. They have not missed any tackles.
And that was one of their major concerns, Brent.
Now the 3 wide receivers to McCoy's left, and he'll look at their last loss here at the hands of the Utes. Now Colorado State with Anthony Hill, the senior from San Diego, California. He's the playmaker. He also is the one offensive player Utah's defense is most concerned about here this afternoon. Brown is his lone running back. Does not take Anthony long to put up his first incompletion with Miller coming hard off of that corner.
Well, he leads the whack in sacks, Brent. He can come hard off the corner. He's been doing it all year. I think he actually batted that ball.
So here is Anthony Hill. And there are his skilled players behind him. E.J. Watson and Brown will rotate throughout the day. The offensive line, Mark Donnelly figures to have his hands full today because he has to block big Luther Ellis down there in the middle, number 83, if you want to watch a defensive player. Here is Brown, nothing doing. Bust one, but Kia, number 88, out of Honolulu. And this is what we expect. This one of the finest defenses in the country. Ordinarily, fans, you recognize the WAC as a high-scoring league, but not this year with these two. And Luther Ellis, number 83, figures to be drafted in the first couple of rounds of the next NFL draft. Kareem Leary, number 4, outstanding defensive back for Coach McBride. So with the loss now, 3rd and 12, Dick. They'll drop back into the shotgun. Brown steps in motion. Gives them an extra receiver. Bad snap. Could be a safety. Out of the end zone, it's a safety. And Utah strikes first.
That is the one negative of a shotgun. When you get a bad snap that you can't feel like that, especially at the end zone. That's John Pulaski, 55, snapping it right up over his head. He tipped it. It's going back to the end zone. He tries to make a smart play and not get it out, get it out of there before he gets the safety. But you can see he didn't make it. There goes the ball, right? See, he's snapping the ball blindly. And you always do that, folks. It's always snapped blindly, but it's not supposed to be snapped that high.
That was blind and high.
Blind and high. Boy, that's not a good way to start.
Now Colorado State will punt it away from their own 20-yard line, and Utah will get the ball right back. And Coach Lubeck has to be very concerned about his youngsters being too high for this opportunity here today. So much excitement surrounding this game.
Well, as he told us, Brent, the other day I had a team meeting Wednesday night, and he said, I've never looked at kids in the eyes like in that meeting and seen them so big, shiny and glary and excited about playing a football game. He says, I am concerned about them being too excited.
David Napier, fine kicker, and they'll put it down on a tee rather than punt it here. The wind is at his back. And Marsh, the wide receiver, back at the 13-yard line, the 30-yard line. Marsh, excellent speed, and he is out of bounds here on the near side in front of the Utah bench. And now McCoy and the Utes go back with good field position. What's very important about the sequence unfolding here is that Utah is working into the wind in the opening quarter. They already have a 2-point lead, and now they can be rather conservative. They don't have to try to strike and take it downfield. Let's take one more look here at the safety.
Anthony Hill is a real fine athlete and good leaping ability. But boy, I'll tell you, see, at the same time that he's taking that snap, he's looking downfield.
Now 1st and 10. Ball at the 40-yard line. Good protection. The swing to Cooperwood is in the game. Cooperwood hesitating, looking for daylight instead of taking and making the catch and striking upfield. The young man from Oakland who is still in the learning process. He's only a sophomore. A great receiver coming out of the Utah backfield. Could be a featured weapon here today.
And he can break tackles. He didn't get an opportunity that time because there was more than one defender in pursuit. But as you said, Brent, we watched those tapes. 2 big plays last week. Very difficult catches and nice catches and big runs.
You take him out of the game. McCoy perfect here in the early going for the Utes. He's 4-4 for 26 yards. Charlie Brown back in. 4 wide receivers for the Utes. 4-man rush. McCoy still perfect. First down, Utes. And he hits Dyson on that far side inside the 45-yard line, and Ragsdale making another stop.
See, with concern about Colorado State's fine pass rush, Rick Redrick said what we're going to do is throw the ball quickly. See that quick drop, let it go. Hey, first down, move the chains.
Utah with an obvious size advantage as you watch their offensive linemen sit down. They put a body on a body now, and Colorado State may need help in getting to McCoy. 1st and 10 inside the 45, and here comes Brown. Another first down to the 30-yard line.
Very good blocking that time by Chris Ray, the offensive right tackle. He took the defender down inside, and they ran right off that block. It was a good job. Here he is right here on your screen. He gets the down block right there. Of course, everybody else had to do a good job, too, but that down block, see, he held that nicely, and that made the hole for the running back.
So the ball sitting at the Colorado State 31-yard line after the 13-yard run. You can see that something has to give here in the first half, and right now Colorado State reeling just a bit. Brown hit, no gain, stuffed. Ragsdale again, 97, playing a whale of a game for that linebacking spot.
Didn't play last week. They held him out. He had a shin splint problem. That time he read the play, and he stepped up and got up in the hole. Boy, that's good linebacking.
Now Utah with the 2nd and long. Ball resting at the Rams 30-yard line. 2-0 in case you just joined us. A safety. Utah leading Colorado State. Battle of the unbeatens in the WAC. Now it is stop time had gone down to 3 seconds, and the official, the linesman, comes in. And timeout has been called by the Rams. We'll be right back. Good runner down at the 28-yard line, and Ingram, linebacker out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Brady Smith came around hard outside to the left of him and pushed him back up inside. The pocket collapsed. Brady Smith leads the WAC in sacks and tackles for loss right now, 91. Now he's working on big Anthony Brown right there. See, he has good speed. He can accelerate right there. See that? And that makes the difference. And this guy has been doing that all year.
Key play for the Colorado State defense. 3rd and 7. Ball inside the 30-yard line. Against this breeze, it would be a tough field goal for Utah. And timeout has been called by McCoy.
See, it was out of clock time. They've got to get the plays to him much quicker than they're getting him to him, Brent. That's not the quarterback's fault. That's the coach's fault.
Wonderful college community north of Denver, Boulder, at the University of Colorado. The Buffs with a big one tonight. Great college environment in the state this year with 2 unbeaten teams. And there is number 97, Mr. Ragsdale. He's having a monster. It's 3rd and 7. Key play now for the defense. They have got to stop McCoy and the Utes, who are on the move. Swing. Nothing doing. It is Mr. Ragsdale.
See, Brent, what they did, they went to a man-to-man coverage. That locked the linebacker on the back, and he just took him right here. You'll see we're locked on right here. He's going to go with him. He'll swing to the left. See, he's eyeballing him all the way. Man-to-man coverage. Now, they don't play very much man-to-man coverage, but it was a good call at that time. Nice job by Larry Kerr making that call, the defensive coordinator.
Jason Jones in punting again. And there is Greg Myers back deep, standing at the Colorado State 10, and Jones will try to bury him again inside the 10-yard line here. And they have already punted now for what is going to be the 2nd time, as they'll take it. Left foot, last punt of beauty, aiming this one for the corner. Does he get it? And it's in the end zone. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. John Saunders, what's up with Air McNair on this Saturday afternoon? He's going to be a high draft choice and a great player. Now, Anthony Hill with E.J. Watson in as his running back. Play fake. Hill throws again, far side, high and incomplete.
Nice tight coverage by Kareem Leary. Now, Fred Winningham, the defensive coordinator, says they normally play a lot of man-to-man coverage through the season. But coming in against these people, they were going to play much more zone because of the ability of their receivers and how well they run the football. So that time, though, they were in a tight man.
2nd and 10, and Anthony Hill, known as a playmaker, with Winningham signaling in the defense. Hill needing to make one as far as the Colorado State staff is concerned right now. And there's E.J. Watson from San Diego, his running back. best gain of the game for the Rams so far. 1st and 10 with Harold Lusk making the stop.
Jim Craig, John Pulaski, Mark Donnelly coming off the ball nicely inside here like that and giving him the cutback lane. The defender has to crash from the outside in to stop this one. See, now look at, watch that snipe. Now, nice cutback right there. Good job of finding that area.
After the 12-yard gain, Hill brings the offense up to the 32-yard line. A variety of formations always being used by Colorado State. Hill steps out of it. He's quick. Was recruited as an option quarterback here to Colorado State, and after that first step, let's see what happened to big number 83, Mr. Luther Ellis, this time.
Nobody ever plans to block him one-on-one, and here he is right in the middle of your screen, number 83. There's the center helping on him right there, and he gets no help. Boy, I tell you that. They made a liar out of me. They said they would never block him one-on-one.
Well, it helps when he kind of takes himself out of it a little bit.
Is he a man?
He really is. 2nd and 5. Lined up right over the nose this year. Watson, a spinner, cannot. Yes, he does battle for an extra half yard. Close to the 40-yard line. Big Luther, number 83. Here's a young man who was married during the offseason. Grew up in the western side of Colorado. Coach McBride saw him in the films. He was one of the first of the big-time schools to go after him. Afterwards, a whole lot of them tried to get Luther to change his mind and come to their school as there's an injured Ram, but it was not to be. And Luther Ellis, a wonderful young man at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. And he's certainly making all his relatives proud to drive up there to see their home games up in Salt Lake.
No question. He's already broke the tackles for loss record within the school, and he has a 20 career sacks right now, so he's moving in on a lot of records, and he's a physical specimen. Now last year he played defensive end, where he actually feels he can rush the passer better from the outside. He said they don't double up on me as much from the outside, but I'll play wherever I can help the defense.
Gives that blocker a little navel to aim at there.
Yeah, geez, that'd be a little cold on the belly button.
I was about to say.
Well, they don't want to lose big EJ because he is a breakaway threat.
They have been free of injuries this year. You know, this was a wonderful, known as the Wacky Whack. It's going to become even wackier. In '96, 6 new schools: Rice, TCU, San Jose, Vegas, Tulsa, SMU. So we got a conference with 16 teams, 9 states, 5 time zones, 4,000 square miles. Some great road trips if you come into the Whack.
Looks like man-to-man coverage.
Brown in motion, no running backs, gives them an extra wide receiver here on 3rd down. And Hill high and incomplete, and Colorado State forced to punt. See, the loss of Watson really hurt on that play.
Oh, yeah, it does hurt, and he's got to make those plays. You got a guy with a step on the receiver in a critical tight game. Anthony has to make those plays, and that's what the coaches were saying. He's our playmaker. He has to have a big game for us to stay in.
Now, one of the things we saw Utah practice yesterday was the punt block. Matt McDougall is the punter for Colorado State. The sure-handed David Kozlowski is back deep. The lone return man with 10 men up on the top. They're coming through. This is something to watch as this game unfolds. Kozlowski misjudges it. It's loose, and he pounces on it at the 16-yard line.
You know, I'm not making excuses for Dave Kozlowski as a punt returner, but the wind does things to a football, either when it's coming into the wind or behind the ball. It changes it. See, the wind that time pushed the ball beyond its normal flight, and he misjudged it. See, he was moving up. You talk about, I mean, that wind's got to be 25 miles an hour. He'll back up next time and run into the ball rather than have to be driven back. You watch.
4 minutes left, first quarter. It's 2-0. A safety. Utah with the lead over Colorado State. The battle of the unbeatens in the WAC. And now McCoy hands off to Cooperwood. Sylvester Cooperwood from Oakland, California.
Boy, Ragsdale is right there. They like to run that, getting that split backs and run the lead play, leading the fullback, giving it to the halfback. And Ragsdale was sitting in the huddle that time. He knew what they were going to do.
He's known a lot here so far.
Well, he was the #1 tackler in the squad last year with 98 tackles, so he knows where the ball is.
He's made 6 tackles here already today. 4 wide receivers, 2nd and 7 for McCoy and the Utes. Four-man rush. Over the middle, Kozlowski. First down, 37-yard line.
David did a real nice job of breaking inside that zone, but even a better job by the quarterback at getting him the ball quickly before the linebackers could rally and stop the play. Nice job by Myers. Talking to him about George Allen. You know, he spent a year and a half there with Long Beach State, and he was just in awe of George Allen. He just thought he was one of the greatest men he'd ever been around in his life, and he has great memories of George Allen.
First and 10 for the Utes. Rob Hamilton, the running back, behind the Utah quarterback, and it is Hamilton, left side, good hole to the 40-yard line, and Ragsdale with still another stop.
Ragsdale's going to have a headache by halftime. You know, he likes to make plays, and he's an instinctive football player, too. To the right side of your screen, number 97, inside backer. Now watch him just slide in. Now, see how he dipped underneath that block right there? He just knows what to do with those shoulder pads.
Left side of that line is Brown and Mahafala. Scott the center, Nevis and Ray the right side of the Utah offensive line. 2:27 to go. Right side this time, just short of the first down, out by the 45-yard line, and Sean Moran making the stop.
You've mentioned the size of the offensive line in Utah. Right there that time, for example, the right side came off the ball, and those shorter, not quite as big guys are really having to lock those cleats in the turf to stop from getting driven off the ball, Brent.
Third and 2. Ragsdale. Now timeout as Ragsdale stepped up into the hole. McCoy.
They're water boys. They're water girls, boy. That's it changed.
Political correctness. That's a water woman.
Water woman.
No letters. Okay. Now it is third and 2 for McCoy and the Utes. Rob Hamilton, the running back. Ragsdale steps into that hole again. They run him to the left side, and he can't make it. Utah forced the punt as Kirk Bowman came in and made the stop.
Kirk Bowman whipped the people at the point of attack with his quickness that time, and Ragsdale came right up in and filled it. Here's Bowman on. Here he is showing up right there, number 97. He's going to fill. Coming from the left side of him right now will be Bowman, number 99. See him beat that inside gap down the line of scrimmage. Wham, makes the play. Nice team defense. Of course, an offensive lineman should never be beaten in the inside gap. Never.
Jason Jones punting to Myers again. High, tough punt to field. They'll let it bounce, and Utah down at about the 25-yard line.
Boy, fundamentals are so critical, Brent. Just a little thing like that. Offensive lineman coming off straight ahead. A defensive lineman taking an inside gap. You should always protect your inside gap first.
How times have changed in the WAC, huh, folks?
Bet.
At this point, usually Brigham Young with 2-3 touchdowns. Wild and woolly, and now defense, as Coach McBride stresses it, recruits defensive personnel, and the Utah defense right now leading 2-0. Leonis Brown is the running back. Watson was shaken up. This is Brown swinging wide to the right, and piggyback ride by Mark Rexford. Thought he was going to go over to the rodeo corral over there and do a little bulldogging. And a reminder that tonight on the ABC Family movie, John Ritter's a parent with his hands more than full, and Problem Child 2. Then will a good cop turn dirty? An all-new Kamish right here tonight on ABC. There's the corral over there. There's them Bulldogs taking the afternoon off. Rodeo fellas are all over here watching the football game. Don't you bring that Rexford over here, man. I don't want him on my back. Second down and 6 now for the Rams. Into the middle of the defense. Pound for a couple of yards, and Luther Ellis, number 83, He's there with Jeremy Burkett out of Lakewood, Colorado, checking in for the Rams.
Well, you can see that Colorado State really believes in the running game, and they're trying to establish it. Dave Lay, the offensive coordinator, said, we want to be balanced. If we get in a one...
Hurting the Rams.
He's sorely missed, Brent, and they're continuing to work on him. It is not an ankle. It's an injury to the lower right leg. They're going to retape it, but he continues to favor. Questionable as to how soon they'll get him back out there.
Well, let's see what they can do here. Hill's the quarterback. Brown is his running back. Remember, they need 3 yards to keep it going. They'll send Brown out in motion. So Hill will either pass it or create it himself. Quick pass intercepted. Look out. Here comes Leary. Leary for a touchdown for Utah. He read it beautifully. Stepped in front, and there's their outstanding defensive back. And defense is the name of the Utah game.
An excellent play, good read, tight end, bottom of your screen, 88, Justin Schul coming off, looking for the quick ball, man-to-man coverage. He's sitting right there in front of it, picks it off, 4th interception of the year, and then does a nice job of running it on in. Tuck that ball away, boy. Oh, gosh, don't do that. That sort of irritates me.
Yeah, it would, Coach. He probably wears an earring, too.
Well, I hear they're fine defense. Imagine this, 3rd in the country in total, 4th in the country in total defense. Pass defense, 3rd in the country. That interception just demonstrates that graphic.
I'm going to tell you, that was quickness when he hit for that ball. And he snapped it down and took off. And Evans, he is a lineman who is quite a story, playing with an injured knee, and now he is down again. And let's take one more look. And he closes so fast. He reads this beautifully.
Wham, he just comes up and dissects it, gets it to its highest point, and taking it home. Here he is. He could not play last year. He missed the whole season with a herniated disc. Married, has a little daughter. Happy man today.
Jackaroo.
Brent, this is not what you want to see for Brandon Evans. You know, we alluded to the fact that he's been playing with a torn anterior cruciate ligament, a partially torn medial collateral ligament, and damage to the femur bone. He wears a brace, but what he told us is he doesn't have a problem except when he is in pursuit. That's when the knee tends to get wobbly. This could be a big problem for the Colorado State Rams.
Well, it's interesting here with Danny Pulsifer in to kick the extra point as to why the Utah coaches are not thinking about 2. They could a miss here to make it just sit on 9, I guess, 10 if they've... Well, why not? Pulsifer's a good kicker, and let's see what happens. It's 9-0 right now. Utah, a slight underdog with a lead, and things are not going well. And there is Evans trailing, and he's blocked down on the play, and that's where he was re-injured. React now that they must battle from behind. The crowd still very much in it here, with Chris Myers and Van Ward back deep, set to return. What is a wonderful kickoff out of the end zone. It'll come out on the 20-yard line.
Taking a look at the numbers here in the first quarter, as you have been witnessing, it's all Utah. Big time in possession. You know, they came into this ball game right here. They came into this ball game averaging better than 9 minutes advantage over their opponents, and they're doing that here again today. No turnovers yet. Total offense 78 yards to 18, 4 first downs to 1. Colorado State's just got to get their motor running, got to get executing.
So Brandon Evans, having that injured knee tended to on the sideline, and his backup moves in at tackle right now. Watson has returned. Play fake. Hill rolling over to the right, and the whistle, and there's a penalty down but prior to the snap.
Too much time. Your coverage people up close into tight coverage and put you running toward the ball to make that kind of a tackle.
On the loss, it is 3rd and 11.
Really tough to convert 3rd and 11 against this defensive team. Number 1 in about every category in the WAC and ranked in the top 5 in a lot of categories, as we showed you earlier. Whittingham right there to the left. That's Dad.
Rushing with 4. Now a linebacker steps back out. Hill swings it out to Brown, far side, first down. Brown out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Now that's one disadvantage of man-to-man. The man on coverage on Brown that time got picked off trying to get over into the coverage responsibility. They're going to swing it to the back to the top of your screen. Person in coverage on Brown, number 4, gets picked off. And he can't get there by his own people and other receivers. Good design. Got it called against the right coverage. A zone, they'd have made that play easy.
19-yard gain. E.J. Watson checks in. Best drive of the afternoon for the Rams.
Go!
Here is Watson. Hit his own man. Bounced off. Still going for about 9 yards as Utah tried to knock it away as he slipped through the defense.
This is their best play. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, they call this play crazy. That's all it is. That's what that was crazy left. Even I could call that right, I think. Here they got the guard kicking out, big tackle right there. Myers, 68 right there, getting the nail block right there. He's up there. Now he shows his innate running skills. Now they're trying to strip the football. That's good defensive coaching.
Need a couple of yards. Watson, the running back. Hill's going to throw for it. First down. Inside the 15-yard line, Eric Olson of San Marcos, California with the reception. Rams threatening.
Now you notice, Brent, on that throw, there was no underneath coverage. So they were in strict man-to-man, everybody taking their people. And actually the tight end pattern was coming out inside that completed route that was picked off earlier for the touchdown. Got the ball to the right guy.
One big difference, they're staying away from number 4. They are not throwing at Leary over here on the left corner. He is matched up now against Olson down toward the bottom of your screen. 4 wide receivers in for the Rams on 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Hill, option look. Watson on the pitch. Watson inside the 5, close to a first down, lost the defender.
That's a great call because that's another thing, the option that gives man-to-man coverage a real problem, Brent. They can run the defenders off, he comes down and pitches it out, and they've done such an efficient job in the red zone this year. You take it this, ladies and gentlemen, see 27 times, but the important thing in that graphic is 20 of those 27 times were touchdowns.
Now it is 1st and goal.
They like to run the counter gap here. Now they have a big defensive lineman playing left halfback or right halfback in this situation, Steve Hodge.
And he would lead Watson to the right. If they follow the power, they run away from it, and Watson into the middle of the formation, and he is stopped short of the goal line.
Steve Hodge is their fine defensive lineman. He's also their leader of their defensive team, but he's also their fullback in goal line short yardage offense. And the coaches said to me the other day, they told the offensive coaches, you could take him and put him on the offense and goal line if you want to, but you better do something with him once in a while. So last week, they threw him a touchdown pass.
That was Watson looking just a little hobble, wasn't it, as he came off. And Van Ward, the junior out of Ohio, checks into that running back spot. Hodge again offset to the right, and this time Hill keeps it for the touchdown.
Nothing complicated by this. Just snap the ball, get the lineman to fire off, and find that little crack right there over your right guard. Sneak it in there. Pretty sure play. Not a guarantee, not a lock, but if executed properly, a touchdown.
David Napier out of Escondido, California. And Colorado State pulls to within a pair. It's 9-7. Hill scores his 5th rushing touchdown.
I've never seen kids work any harder on the football field. Give greater effort, fight any harder, and yet live the right way. They made my life so easy, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't believe it's going to be snuffed out by some guy. I wish them well, and they've got a bunch of great kids. I really love them. And this is the year that they should be good. This is the year that is the recruiting class after the Freedom Bowl, and it's been very good for them, and it was very exciting to see them be successful.
And Sonny Lubick replaced Earl, and Remember that many of these youngsters were recruited by Earl, but then Sonny took them the next step. And here they are now with a kickoff to Lusk for Utah. Lusk with an alley. Lusk explodes 35. Spinner to the 43-yard line. Dick, you have a connection with the Lusk family. Tell us that story.
I do. I coached his brother, the Philadelphia Eagles, Brent, for 3 years. Herb Lusk, he was my tailback. I can remember him breaking a 68-yard touchdown I-toss play against the New York Giants. And we called him the praying tailback because he was studying to be a minister. And he told me, as soon as I get my degree, I'm going to become a minister. And right now, he's doing a great job doing just that in Philadelphia.
Utah leading 9-7. Brings it up here at the 42-yard line. Cooperwood is back in that backfield. McCoy, the quarterback, with a little change up at the line of scrimmage against this Colorado State defense. Cooperwood across the 45 to the 47 in number 97. Kenya Ragsdale from Akron, Ohio. Dick, how does someone from Akron, Ohio get out here to Fort Collins and get away from the clutches of the Buckeyes of Ohio State with the kind of talent that he's got at linebacker?
You know, you would wonder that, you know, but I'll tell you, sometimes kids want to get into different areas. I mean, we find that when I was coaching at UCLA, sometimes kids just want to get out of that area and get into, hey, a beautiful area. It wouldn't take much to recruit me here, I'll tell you that.
Brown and Hamilton, the running backs. High and incomplete for Hamilton. Jack Arute, what's the latest on the offensive situation for the Rams?
Well, Brent, as we said at the top of the show, this is what college football is all about. Behind me is E.J. Watson. You can see that his left ankle has been taped way high with an ace bandage. He said when he came out, he was limping very badly because when he stretched for the goal line, it twisted once again. They asked him if he wanted to come out of the game. He said, no way, he's in it for the long haul.
It's the kind of desire they have shown here this year. That's why Colorado State unbeaten. Utah playing with a lot of heart, too. McCoy, 7 of 8 for 49 yards. This is 3rd and 6.
It looks like blitz. He's audibling, Brent. He can recognize the blitz because the safeties are closer.
And he hits on the slant, but it's short of the first down. Great defense that time by Ray Jackson.
See, the tight man-to-man coverage pulled him up on him, and he made the good firm tackle and prevented that first down. See, he read it. The normal move is to run the slants against a blitz read. So that's what they do. They come in, and Ray Jackson, number 31, does a nice job of driving to make that play. I talked to him the other day on the practice field. Was he concerned about covering his good receivers? He says, Coach, in the WAC, you cover good receivers every week.
Colorado State to get it back now. Jason Jones into punt again. Myers back to return, standing on the Rams' 10-yard line. They have already taken a delay of game a little bit earlier, and they will do it again to back him up. He's a fine punter. He wants a little bit more room.
They said to take it back.
Dick, I have a question. In that situation, why not just decline it if they're so eager to bring it back?
I know. Well, the players turned to the bench, and the coaches told them to take it back. So they think they have a good return team. Greg Myers is one of the best in the WAC. He's number 1 last year. He's averaging 11.8 yards a return. They want to give him a shot to return one.
Tight defensive game. Kicking becomes such a huge factor in an emotional ball game between two unbeatens. They're coming. It's blocked. Fielded by Utah in the air. It'll be downed right there where he downed it. Colorado State will have it at the 49. A partially blocked punt. It was Jim Dietrich out of Lake Forest, Illinois, who blocked it.
You could see that coming from up here. He gets it off. I mean, he's good rhythm like that, but just good penetration inside like that, and they get the football. They break down inside. No way should Dietrich be turned loose like that. The offensive left guard in the punt team blew the protection, turned him loose.
Colorado State has suddenly turned things in its direction. E.J. Watson in at running back. Crowd alive. One of the largest in the history of Hughes Stadium. Anthony Hill must create on the move as an open man is tight end, first down. Justin Shaw. We get confirmation now that this will be the largest crowd in the history of Colorado State. More than 39,000 into Hughes Stadium, and they're seeing a dandy right now. With 8 minutes to go in the first half. Utah leading because of a safety in the early minutes. It's 9-7, but Colorado State on the move again. Ball inside the Utah 40-yard line. Here's Watson, left side, crease to the 33-yard line, and Mark Rexford making the stop for the Utes.
Real nice job by Mark Rogowski, number 77, the offensive left tackle, who's replacing Brandon Evans, the injured player earlier. Mark did a nice job of battling that time with the left tackle position right here. Did a nice job of sticking and staying. Now watch him come off. Now watch him just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. Nice job there, fella. You bet. He gave him an extra 5 with that kind of effort.
Second down. Hill. Open receiver at the 15-yard line is Eric Olson. I'll tell you, the game turned completely around on the interception for a touchdown. Colorado State has not been the same football team since that wake-up call.
We have a big square-in pattern going to be run by Olson at the bottom of your screen. He sneaks. They're playing zone now. When he comes back inside that zone and throw it, chances are they won't play much more zone. They're going to play him a little tighter coverage.
Now the ball at the Utah 15-yard line. Colorado State again moving against one of the best defenses in the nation. A.J. to the 9-yard line, and a nice stop by Luther Ellis.
Boy, and it's a good thing he made it, because they had the point of attack blocked properly, Brent, but the backside people didn't get old Luther Ellis cut off.
So after Hill's shaky 0 for 5 start, he has hit 5 of his last 6. Driven him for a touchdown. Now he's trying to get the lead before the intermission. The ball inside the 15-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 9 against Lethal Luther and his buddies.
And he gets after people. But they've taken advantage of some of his overpowering charges today by running plays by him, you know, as he gets upfield.
Hill, now that option look again. Brown bashed out inside the 10-yard line.
See that option against the man-to-man. The 2 outside receivers can run off the defenders if they're playing man-to-man, and there isn't anybody to come up there quickly to make the play. And they're not a big option team, but they like to run it down here in the red zone. This guy has done a real good job of putting this whole football. There's the 2 father and son team coaching defense for Utah that we talked about earlier. That's a great shot.
One wants the alligator and the other wants the
don't
hog.
blow the call.
He said that's a smelly call, Dad. Now it's 3rd down and 3 for Colorado State. 2 wide receivers, double tight end. It's Brown. Brown slips at the 7. That's short of a first down. Decision time for Lubick and Colorado State.
See, they ran an outside blitz, both people off the corner, and that forced him back up inside. He almost made it if he had not slipped. It's a counter action. Now, the counter move allows the offensive lineman to get out in front of him right there, and see, he slips as he tries to make the cutback.
The coach is looking for confirmation of the distance with an injured player down here. Another injured Colorado State. You know, one of the reasons behind the Rams' success has been the absence of injuries. And here today we've had Evans go down, and now they'll send in their field goal unit. With 6:28, they're trailing by 2. Field goal into the breeze. It's at the right angle. David Napier, one of the better kickers in the WAC, on the field.
He's 10 for 13 kicking field goals this year, Brent. And as you said, one of the better guys. And at this distance, he's 4 for 5.
A quarterback, Eric Prawl, number 16, is the holder. The ball would be put down at the 14-yard line. It would be a 24-yard attempt.
I think it's a good decision to go for this field goal, Brent. You know, Utah had only given up 2 first downs on 4th down situations out of 8 attempts, so they knew what they were attacking.
Blocked. Picked off by Lusk at the goal. Still running. And out of bounds at the 29-yard line off the blocked field goal. Utah still. Utah ball short of the first down. There's the young man who jarred the ball free, Garrett Sand.
He knocked the sand out of him. You know what really impresses me here is McCoy. Watch him slide up in, and he never looks panicked. Just slides right up there and delivers in the ball, and wham! Oh, hello, Curtis. That hurts. Oh, gosh. These kids hit. How many times have you said these kids hit today already, first half?
Big time atmosphere in Fort Collins, Colorado. Third down and 3. 3 minutes. 9-7. Good defensive game.
A linebacker blitz again.
Complete. First down, out of bounds at the 40-yard line goes Kevin Dyson.
Those kind of passes against man-to-man coverage are high percentage completions. They're bringing people right now. They're going to bring the linebackers. Try to get pressure on them. Force them to throw out a rhythm. But they got it off quickly to the right side of your screen. Thrown perfect. See, he could catch the ball and keep right on running.
Blocked field goal started this possession for the Utes after a blocked punt gave Colorado State an opportunity to take the lead. They didn't. Now Utah on the move. Ball inside the 40-yard line. Senior quarterback Mike McCoy hands it off now. A 2-yard gain behind the left side of his offensive line, and Garrett Sand coming up to make the stop again on Sylvester Cooperwood. And a reminder that Monday night, Dick, ABC Sports is going to head to your old stomping ground.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Houston. Phil, what do you think of that one, partner?
Well, I'll tell you, I think Eagles are a much better football team than the Houston Oilers. That's obvious right now. Houston are really struggling, combining the two different kinds of offense, the run and shoot and the one-back attack with the tight end and that. They aren't beating anybody.
Second down and 9. McCoy at the line for the Utes. Now back over the middle, and it was through behind his receiver. He had Dyson, and he made the receiver reach back on the play.
And look at Mike McCoy. He says, you know, I should have made that play. You know, he was pressured that time, Brent, and he just kept sliding and sliding until he found a throwing lane. Never looks panicked. And this was one of the things the Colorado State coaching staff was concerned about this guy. They say he doesn't have a reputation for being mobile and running, but they think he's very, very good in that pocket, finding the place to throw. Make it 3rd and 9. McCoy being forced. There's a penalty flag down. Throws back. Kozlowski would be a first down, but I believe holding is going to be the call. I believe this one's coming back. Sean Moran is calling holding. He's the defensive left end, rushing over the offensive right tackle, and he's standing there. You know, they came in here, the number 9 penalized team. They're getting penalized right now. Let's see if we can find out who the holding is on here. And there's 74 on the left side of your screen. Now he tackles him right there and pulls him down. It appears that's who they called it on.
This is a long, from the point of the holding call, makes it come all the way back to the Utah 44-yard line and sets up a 3rd and 27. A huge holding penalty with the crowd alive. Win behind Utah now. Inside of 2 minutes left in the first half.
So you can afford to go real loose zone in this kind of situation too, Brent.
McCoy's going to go deep to the end zone and broken up by Greg Myers.
Absolutely spectacular play made by the free safety. Academic all-WAC, 3.7 GPA biology student, getting a straight A playing defense right here. Watch this play, left hand right there. Beautiful job.
And
take another look. That was so good. Nice job.
Dick, even if he had caught it, it was going to come back. An ineligible receiver was downfield on the play. Now, you would think that because the play is made in the situation, they would decline it, force Utah to punt here with a minute and a half to go in the first half, maybe even make a run at another punt.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Penalty against the offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Now Jason Jones trots onto the field, and remember, Colorado State got a piece of his last punt. Myers, who broke that one up, goes back to the Colorado State 15-yard line. So Utah, last 5 possessions here. They have punted all day. Remember, the defense had their only touchdown, and he booms this one. There's no block this time.
Oh, man. He nailed it.
Utah's defense leads Colorado State 9-7. 124 left, first half. Guarding the hillsides. Let no man enter. I'm telling you what. I'm making the crowd 7-5 if Colorado State comes back and wins this to seize that hillside. Out of the shotgun, Anthony Hill trying to shake and bake a little bit here, and he's out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Let's see, timeouts left here, Mr. Vermeil. The Rams have a pair of them.
Yes,
only 119 to work with going into the wind. They're not odds on to get anything done here, Pardy.
Now, I'll tell you, though, with that kind of quarterback, it can both run and throw in these situations. You're going to get a looser defense in this situation. They can move the ball. Colorado 128 yards, Utah 38. Boy, that switched around.
The game turned around after the interception by Utah when they scored the touchdown. Leary's touchdown just seemed to bring Colorado State alive. They'll run Brown. Brown cuts back across to the 36, and remember, time stops when you make a first down in college football.
He wanted to get out of bounds, but there were white jerseys out there, so he elected to take it back up inside. Minute 11. Still have their 2 timeouts. Watched them go through the 2-minute drill on the field the other day. They like the shotgun. They like to throw the underneath stuff. You know, they haven't gotten the ball in Burkett's hands yet either, number 22, and he's the guy they like to get him in the open field situations.
Now Hill looking over in that direction, high and complete to Olsen at the 44-yard line, and another first down. Now they're in business.
They called a timeout because the offensive team had to move so far. Good decision. What they did that time, they took the slot back, Burkett, and hooked him up and ran the pattern in behind Mr. Anthony Hill. He started out slow, and all of a sudden he's caught fire, and they're moving the football.
44 yards to the end zone, 50 seconds, and 1 timeout with which to work here in the first half. Second of the first half. Leary coming back, slips a tackle, and now Leary down at the 31-yard line. His 2 interceptions, the difference in the ball game.
See, they backed off and played zone that time, and he didn't read it properly and makes the error. Should not throw that ball down there like that. Line drive, nice throw, nice tight spiral. Look good from here, Brent. See, but just good loose coverage down there. Good pass protection. Nice throwing lane right there to the right side of your screen. You'll see him just falling off, playing very loose zone. Tough to complete that one. This guy is, you know, they told us about him prior to the game that he's a good one. He's demonstrating that today.
He's upset with Lusk over there. Lusk was getting a bit of a lecture there on the side after the interception.
Out of bounds.
Cooper Wood cannot get out of bounds here in 30 seconds. 1 timeout left for Utah. There's the young man Leary. He intercepted the pass and ran it in for the Utah touchdown. There's the defensive coordinator. And there's Leary over there with Lusk.
Evidently there was a mistake made in the secondary. But sure, the end result, The time to correct a mistake is now, you know, and I've always believed that. And young people learn by making mistakes and being disciplined and coached to do it properly. And Lusk comes from a real strong family, good people, and they would want their son scolded, let's say, when he makes a mistake.
Typical WAC game, running a little bit lengthy here in the first half. Some of those folks who are dreaming about getting to the airport this evening may have to change their plans and stay and celebrate with us in Fort Collins, regardless of the outcome of the ball game.
Now Coach Fred Whittingham goes over and consoles him. He says, listen, gosh darn it, you're a darn good football player. You made a mistake. Now get your chin up and let's go play football. Do it again, I'll kill you.
It's great hanging around with a coach. Look at him, he's smiling there. 25 seconds. 2nd and 6. Bobbled. Hold on. Intercepted on the ricochet. Garrett Sand picks it off. 20 seconds, and suddenly the Rams are back in business.
Garrett Sand is the individual that created the great hit a few minutes ago. Popped him from that outside linebacker spot. Now he gets the turnover. It's a crossing pattern underneath the zone. You'll see number 6 coming right in there, Claiborne. He's bobbling right there, and it goes right to him. Now the quarterback is given credit for throwing an interception here, but boy, that's tough. That should go some other way statistically.
Let's see if the Rams can capitalize. They'll show the shotgun. Hill trying to keep the crowd noise down. High, and one hops it. 15 seconds to go.
Boy, that is a long, long throw. That was an 18-yard comeback on the far sideline, and he's standing on the right hash mark, Brent. Boy, that's a long throw. That takes a cannon to get it over there. With one timeout left, I kind of believe they'd be better off trying to throw it up inside those zones, get it in the field goal position, and call the timeout right there, rather than trying to get it all the way across the field like that.
I don't think they kick a field goal in this win.
Maybe not, if they get it closer, though.
Or get down about, I think you got to get inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, it's getting pretty heavy.
2nd down. They go empty. And Hill is going to run it and stop the clock with 9 seconds to go.
Well, Hill was one of the defensive coach's main concern, that mobility. Because not only can he get outside the pocket and foul up the rush, it concerns the coverage people, because if they're locked up in man-to-man and he's running down the field with the ball, they don't see it. So he creates a lot of problems. You know what's a good thing to talk about in regard to him is his character. He starts out really slow. I mean, he can't hit anything. He's 0 for 5, and then he gets going, and now he's playing tough. Throws an interception, doesn't let it bother him.
Good competitor, huh?
Yeah, he's a competitor.
High left side, Olsen, ricochet. The Buffalo magic doesn't work.
Well, we're in the right state. It was Colorado that got it done before.
Well, yeah, but maybe they'd have to go to Michigan
to do it. They're going to get a chance to do it one more time.
Now, the one thing you want to do as a defensive back in this situation when the ball is thrown down there is get it out of there and get it down. Just knock that ball down. And Lusk was back there in deep center field. He's standing back inside. Well, he's around about 15-yard line right now, the center fielder, and here we come again. Final play of the first half.
He's getting it high enough.
Intercepted. This one by Lusk. And now it is Lusk down as time runs out on the first half.
Well, he redeems himself, you know.
And the two hoppers fielded at the 2-yard line and down at the 19-yard line. Good work by the coverage team by the Utes that time. At number 20, Clarence Lawson's out of Las Vegas. Let's give him a little credit for that hit.
They probably shouldn't do or try to change much what they were doing in that second quarter. The counter, the play they call the crazy play, that counter gap play was effective for him. That kind of running off the nose guard was effective for him. And the misdirection with the quarterback was really effective.
Brown opens up as the running back. Remember, he and E.J. Watson took turns throughout the first half. Brown behind the right side. Breaks it for 5 or 6 yards before Jason Hooks brings him down.
See, they're not fooling around. They're just lining up, coming off, base zone blocking, straight ahead, and trying to find that crack. That time they find the crack. Quickness, they're a little bit quicker maybe offensively than Utah is defensively. Defensively, Utah is bigger and stronger. Colorado taking advantage of their quickness.
So it'll be 2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard gain. Mark Rexford and his defensive buddies get ready to go back to work. Off a play fake, Hill rolling to the right. Incomplete at the 40-yard line, and a penalty flag. A late one comes down.
See, again, that's that misdirection in the backfield. Start one way, waggle out the other way, looking for the crossing patterns. They did a good job of taking away the initial receiver. They wanted to throw close to the line of scrimmage to the tight end. That's the second pass interference call. Automatic 1st down.
Coming out to the 40-yard line.
They're going to have to get some pressure off the corner to stop that quarterback from getting out there that cleanly, Brent. Widen the defensive ends maybe and bring them a little further upside. Invite them to come back inside a little bit more with the running game.
So a fresh set of downs now, and Coach Whittingham and the defensive brain trust of the Utes have to be just a little concerned here in the early going, but all in all, they've done an outstanding job. Gill back in that shotgun. Runs out of it, dives up over the top for 1.5 yards. He thought maybe that was the end zone, eh?
That's a very clever play, Brent. I have not seen anybody run the counter gap play with the quarterback from the shotgun. That's an unusually, and it's a different type of play. Normally when you run the counter gap, you give it to this man and he goes over and runs it. See, cleared here. Now you'll see that both linemen pulling it, but they're using the quarterback. Good design. Of course, it didn't make any yards. Good defense.
Well, I thought the leap was the most important part of it myself. 2nd and 9, and here's Hill.
They're in an unbalanced formation now down to the bottom of the screen, Brent.
Steps out to the left and throws on the move high and incomplete.
Boy, that's hard to throw that deep running like that. He just couldn't quite get enough on that ball. But see, they were in an unbalanced formation, meaning more people than they normally have over to the left side of the ball that time, trying to get the defense to move over.
Jeremy Burkett brings the play in from the Coach Lubick's sideline.
I'm still waiting for them to get the ball in his hands. He's very good in the open field. He's a converted running back, playing an H-back, slot-back type guy. If he catches it in open field, he's dangerous.
He is off to Hill's left. Hill is back in the shotgun. Needs 9 yards. Utah shows a 4-man rush. They send Olsen in motion through the formation. And Hill's going to hit Brown out of that backfield and try to get him to some space, but he could not. And Colorado State is forced to punt, and that was Keith Harrison, number 24, with the coverage.
They were trying to beat the man-to-man coverage, but they didn't play man-to-man. Ended up in a zone.
Matt McDougall into punt, and we see that Leonis Brown, the running back, is injured and down on the field.
And remember, E.J. Watson is also banged up. He's the other running back. Here's Leonis Brown going out of bounds right here. He's grabbing his left hip. See what he's doing here. He's a senior out of San Fernando, California. Southern California, that is. Brother to Charles White, the Heisman Trophy winner at USC. Now, if E.J. Watson can't play, they're down to their 3rd string tailback. Fred Oglesby heads up the training department there at Colorado State. They do an outstanding job with kids that are bumped and bruised. That was a real good defensive series for Utah that time. They had to come out here and do something really convincing.
It's going to be interesting to see if they attempt an all-out block of a punt.
Well, going in game plan-wise, they felt they had a shot at getting it, and they were going to go on the center's shoulder movement, not the ball, because he's tend to move those early.
And they bucked him that time, and they're coming, and they got it. There it is. The block punt. And this will give fumble again. Scooped up by Colorado State. And a wild and woolly one. But Utah will have only 5 yards to go for a touchdown on the blocked punt. A play they worked on at practice yesterday. The center bucked his shoulders, and they came on that move.
They got underneath right here like that, and they're watching the shoulders of the center because he moves his shoulders prior to the snap. You can see him get right up underneath inside there. Here he comes. He dives out beautifully out in front of the punter, just like he's coached to do it. Now it's a mad dash for the football. Strode trying to get it there, number 15, and wham! Oh, man, was that a hit by Clarence Lawson, number 20. I'll tell you, in all my 24 years of coaching, Brent, very seldom did I ever win a football game that I got a punt blocked in.
Well, it's even now.
Now, I know it. But Colorado State came in here with 2 punts blocked prior to this.
First day today, didn't they? BYU later, New Mexico. Hawaii off this week. And here, Utah with a 2-point lead and threatening after the block punt. A first and goal. Strode is out of the play at least because of that injury. One running back, double tight end for Utah. They run him, and Brown to the end zone. No signal yet from the officials.
Charlie Brown, just good base blocking straight ahead. Charlie Brown carrying the ball on his 23rd birthday. That's today. 23 years old. Wearing number 23. Inches to go. Your brother's birthday today, right?
Yeah.
My brother's birthday today.
Really?
We got a lot of birthdays today.
They're both back there celebrating in Chicago.
Yeah, you gave him a real great gift.
He's probably driving around in his brand new 80-year-old limousine. Hope it doesn't suddenly stop. Now the quarterback, McCoy, and I don't think he got it. No signal. It's going to be 3rd down, huh?
These kids are very, very determined kids on defense. Brady Smith, defensive end, Steve Hodge, Kenya Ragsdale, Kirk Bowman, Sean Moran, playing their guts out down there.
There,
Ron
your 2 brain
McBride.
trusts.
Coach McBride, I've known for a long time. Been a very, very good assistant football coach. Finally got his opportunity to do the head coaching job, and he's done it well.
3rd and goal. McCoy going again. This time to the end zone. Touchdown, Utah.
He just went to his left right over Roy Maafala. Good line surge by Roy Maafala, the left side of the line there. Anthony Brown, the big left tackle, they're coming off the ball. Don't have far to go, but see, there was a nice little crack right there. Good decision by the quarterback, Mike McCoy, to slide that way. Holy mackerel. I hope they're not my kids. I'll tell you that.
Might be my son.
It could be yours. He goes to school here.
Penalty flags all over the place. The Pulsifer extra point. Oh, hold on here a second. So we've had a game with 2 blocked punts. We've had a safety on a snap over a quarterback's head into the end zone. We've had an intercepted pass for a touchdown. Folks, it has been wacky.
Normally in games with all those things happening, there's a blowout somewhere, you know, but the 2 defenses are playing so hard that it's keeping the game close.
In keeping with the whack, I think this one is going to be a long game. Now Pulsifer tried again. They were coming hard, but he still nails it. And Utah leads it. Oh, he's got a strong leg. That was into the wind.
That was into the wind. That's a great kick.
Well, here's the play that set it all up. The punt block. And the young man who comes in there, number 28, is quite a story. Via Ofa. He's a junior out of Salt Lake City. And like a lot of youngsters on special teams around the country, he is a walk-on, a legitimate walk-on who just asked for a chance, went on, made the football team, and there he is making one of the great plays. It's lovely to see these walk-ons get the job done.
Oh, it is. It really is. It's exciting. He's 5'9". He doesn't look 5'9" from up here, so he had to really stretch out to get that ball.
Dick Van Ward checks in now for Colorado State. He's behind Anthony Hill. And here comes Ward swinging to the left, and he is cut off by Ernest Boyd, the strong safety who sealed him up.
Well, Van Ward is a junior from Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Another guy escaped that state and ended up here playing football. He has some experience, Brent. He'd carried the ball 128 times coming into this ball game over his career.
Dick, talk to the audience about the difference between Luther Ellis and Warren Sapp, the other great defensive lineman we saw down in Miami a few weeks back.
Well, just watching Luther on game tape, I don't think he's quite as explosive, though he's much bigger and maybe more powerful. Not quite as explosive out of his stance.
He's lined up at left defensive tackle. He's number 83. They run away from him with Ward, and Ward is sealed up. Cal Beck came off that corner to help out with Henry Kafusi. Kafusi is a big name and one we're familiar with through some coverage of Brigham Young.
That's right, the Kafusi brothers there, and there are two of them on here. Steve Kafusi played the Philadelphia Eagles for a while, and I got to meet him there. Had a chance to visit with him on the field here yesterday. He's going to graduate school.
Is this the first time you've been to Fort Collins, partner?
I drove through here on a family reunion one time and really enjoyed it.
It's really a lovely town.
Oh,
growing a lot.
They could recruit me.
You bet. We got a little bit of a blaze here in the background. That's 3rd down and 8. Now it's Hill. He'll sprint out of trouble. Does this very well. And Hill gets a blocker, follows it beautifully, breaks free on the sideline, and finally out of bounds. What a job by the CSU quarterback. He makes plays, and he made one here.
He came into this ball game with a 68-yard run to his credit at his longest run. Now he gets back there. This is his real plus. They pick up the stunt inside. He's flushed. See, they're obviously in a man coverage. No one covering him one-on-one. That's the problem with playing man coverage against this. Good block down field by Eric Olson. And here comes Ernest Boyd there. I'll tell you, he was trying to find one more step. He couldn't get it. I think he was running out of gas.
9:59 and trying to get a breath, trying to get it back. He's got to take charge. E.J. Watson checks in at the tail. He'll be handing off this time. He's exhausted. Here's Watson. They knew this was coming. With a tired quarterback like that, you knew he had to hand the ball off, and Kafusi makes the play for the Utah defense.
I'll tell you, if they run that same action and he keeps the ball, comes off the corner out the other way, he's too tired to do it right now.
Yeah, I don't think he could
do
it.
It was there.
I think they knew it.
Yeah, he's breathing hard. If you throw, just throw a quick out.
Maybe he just said, I'm get it back. Take a deep breath. Here we go. It's all right, Coach. I can still get it done here, man. Left foot back. That familiar stance of Hill. Fakes it, rolls out to the right. Fires it in. Touchdown, Eric Olson.
They should just kick this and not think about going for 2 right now, Brent.
Well, they've got David Napier in there to do just that, Dick. I'll tell you one thing I'm seeing. This team doesn't lack heart.
No, they don't. And Coach Lubick has said that all week since we've been here. They are believers.
So Anthony Hill, his run set it up, and then the man who blocked for him downfield, Eric Olson from San Marcos, California, works his way free, and watch how he clutches the ball after the catch.
He's right in the slot, and you'll note that they went zone coverage. No one picked him up man-to-man, and did you notice that little signal? We'll show that to you again, ladies and gentlemen. That was really well done. He knew what the coverage was. He knew what should happen, so he signaled the quarterback to get me the football.
This is the big play that made it all possible when Anthony Hill broke free on 3rd and 8 and ran 62 yards before Boyd got him out of bounds as he was going down the tightrope. Actually, he would have carried himself out of bounds. Boyd didn't have a whole lot to do with it. Then he came back, communicated with Olson. They hit it for the touchdown, and it is back to 2 again, the safety being the difference. Coming out of the 20, and now Mike McCoy and the Utes in the teeth of this crowd here in Fort Collins, going back to work. Here this afternoon. I hope you're enjoying it right along with us.
Take one more look at that touchdown. I'll show you what I was talking about. They lined up as if they were going to go man-to-man coverage, showed it, and then went zone.
1st and 10, the ball at the 20-yard line. Juan Johnson, who was injured last week, was leading Hamilton, and he was crushed by the CSU defense. Steve Hodge, number 46, led the charge that time.
The little intricacies in coaching. It looks like man-to-man right here. They don't go man-to-man. Watch him buzz out and go zone. All right, now watch your receiver. Freeze it right there. See, he's got his hands up. He said, listen, it's zone. Get me the ball quickly. They do it. It's a touchdown. Good coaching.
2nd down and 12. Charlie Brown back in, and McCoy trying to change up here with the noise becoming a factor. Now McCoy, quick drop, throws incomplete.
They blew the coverage and turned the tight end Marston loose. No one's on him. He can't believe they didn't see it. No one was on him. They have a 5-pack in there, 5 defensive backs, and they blew the coverage, and Marston's tight end was all alone.
And Oregon doing a job on Washington. Meanwhile, Michigan leading Illinois. Toomer scores their first touchdown on a long punt return. Third down and 12.
Now they're in that stretch formation from sideline to sidelines, trying to really stretch that zone defense.
McCoy is savaged by Devon Hawkins.
I'll tell you, those kids are playing their hearts out, Brent. You can just feel it from up here. They're as excited as the fans are. They feel they're taking control of the ball game, gaining the momentum, and they are pumped. And so is Devon Hawkins, who just made the sack. They're tough on quarterbacks. 27 sacks. Oh.
Now Jason Jones drops back in punt formation. Greg Myers is set to return.
They're returning it, not trying to rush it.
Yeah, they're going to get good field position here, this situation anyway. Here's Myers. Myers to midfield. Half the field to play with. They did not want to risk a roughing penalty. There is a penalty flag down, prop by 2. And now the play has been held up by the officials. 25-second clock well underway, even though the game clock doesn't start until the snap. On 1st and 10, here's Hill. Launching one, wants Olson. Olson, he can't finish. Garrett.
thinking they go deep. They go deep to Donovan Burks, number 8. Instead, they go the other way. You can see him grab him right there. He had to do that, or it might have been a touchdown.
The Colorado State coaches are saying we must score in the third quarter. We've got the wind at our back, and we must not play catch-up football in the fourth quarter. They figured now was the time to strike. They went for it, and they'll get a 15-yarder here that'll put that ball now inside the 30-yard line with plenty of time left in the third quarter for Sonny Lubick and the Colorado State Rams. WAC officials headed by referee Bill McCabe, and Anthony Hill comes in from the sideline getting clarification. And here comes clarification for the rest of us.
Pass interference. 15-yard penalty against the defense. First down.
I thought maybe he was going to tell us something more dramatic.
I was thinking to myself, but I didn't want to say it in the air. What took so long?
Exactly. I mean, let's walk the football off and let's get on with it. Now the ball just inside the 30-yard line now for Hill and the Rams. Dan Ward, the Colorado State running back. On the draw, it's Ward, explodes to the middle. Ward, first down, close to the 15-yard line, and Jason Hook's bringing him down.
They have done a good job of running against that odd man front defense all day with that same specific play, Brent. Run off the charge of the big Luther Ellis. See, now the nose guard's right here in front of the quarterback. They're going to run off that block. Now, Mark Donnelly, the right guard, 63, does a nice job. See, big hole. He reads it up there. Not a physical play, a finesse play, but a good play.
Colorado State inside the 20, first and 10. 3 wide receivers and E.J. Watson, the running back, as they shuttle backs in and out. It's E.J. and it's Luther Ellis coming from the back. Number 83 ran him down, Coach.
He showed some quickness there, Brent, because he came around from the backside. Actually, the wrong side of the block. He came around it and down it and made the play. He's a big, strong man, 6'6", 288, and when you stand next to him, ladies and gentlemen, he looks bigger than that. And not an ounce of fat on him, Brent.
Yeah, good looking.
Strongest man on the team.
Wouldn't you say good looking on the hook?
Yeah.
I thought I was buying cattle, folks.
Well,
down here with the coach.
In this area, that's what you think.
Second and 10.
It looks like blitz. Now they backed it off.
And Hill. Now we'll try to create again. And he's cut off this time. That was Mark Rexford who defended him.
Good job by Hill, though. See, he doesn't want to turn the ball over. He was tempted to throw the ball. He tried to pump it to keep the defense off him, to allow him to give him some running room, but he didn't want to throw. Topside receiver was open, but see, he's running the other way, and he can't get back, looking back to see this guy. See, they're scrambling around trying to get open. Good decision.
It's 11 yards for a first down. 3rd and 11. Colorado State spreads the defense out low with 4 receivers. Option look, and they pitch it out now to Renard Karn, number 40. And he is out of bounds at the 11-yard line. You would think that Colorado State would go for the go-ahead field goal.
Bernard Karn is a junior out of Oxnard. He has not played very much, but they've got some people banged up. He comes in. That's his 15th carry on the year. On the year.
Now David Napier in a situation to put the Rams ahead. To gamble at this situation, Dick, you don't have the odds in your favor on 4th and 4.
No, you don't. You just go ahead and play good common sense football here, and hopefully he makes it.
This is a 28-yarder. Leads it. It's their first lead of the game.
You know, he was lucky to make that because that snap was not handled cleanly and placed cleanly. There was a little bobble in that, but he maintained his discipline and kicked it through. See that ball right there?
Views a postcard. The old Horsetooth Reservoir. Oh, yeah, this little town, they still got outdoor movie theaters over there, folks. Look who's starring this week.
Boy,
Coach Honey Lubick.
I'll tell you this, they're lined up to buy his tickets, too. I'll tell you that.
This man's not. Coach McBride says, get him off the screen, man. So there's the kickoff down to the Utes. It's tapped, fielded at the 10-yard line by Lusk. And Lusk on a cutback brings it out beyond the 30-yard line. John Saunders, how about the Crimson Tide? They're being shut out, weren't they, at halftime?
Absolutely correct, Brent. 10-0 was the score when they went to the locker rooms, but first and goal here at the 2. Sherman Williams muscles his way across. Alabama on the board. 10-7, though. They still trail. Brent.
John, it's interesting. Crimson Tide, unbeaten, may pull this one out. Haven't been overly impressive, but they just kind of keep hanging in the neighborhood, don't they? Speaking of Alabama and the unbeatens, there they are, folks. There's 9 of them. We're watching 2 of them right here today, and down the road, another one going to go to work a little bit later this afternoon against Kansas State. Colorado. Good solid chance for a national championship, but don't discount the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Charlie Brown is the Utah running back. First and 10. Now McCoy to put it up. Steps off to his left, has a receiver, got him. First down, and a penalty flag. There could be a holding call, and that would bring the gain on back.
Boy, when it goes bad, it all goes bad. Coach McBride standing there evaluating this whole thing, both physically and mentally.
Yeah. Holding. 10-yard penalty against the defense from the spot of the foul.
Jackaroo, what's the move down there, partner?
Well, Brent, you know, one of the things we saw early on, you talked about this emotional crowd. Well, maybe the Colorado State team was a little bit off in the beginning with that safety. But now the team is responding to the crowd. But let's not forget one thing. Right behind me here in this section is the Utah Utes as well. And the one thing, Brent, that I'm most impressed with by both teams and both crowds, no matter what fan you are, they know this is...
Well, now, 27 yards. The Utah Utes need here, working against the wind, trailing it by a point. Crowd alive at Fort Collins, hit on the release. And now it'll be 2nd and 27. And that was Mr. Steve Hodge, who has come alive big time in this game.
And he is the leader. He is the tempo setter, as we said earlier. Just a good power, quick rush guy. He was a running back in high school, Brent. And here he is playing defensive tackle. And loves every minute of it.
How about that guy that drove his car out here from New York to walk on and slept in it, didn't have any money?
Carl Ballard.
Wow.
Actually started last week as the inside linebacker. He really did.
I tell you. Now they move Marsh out. An empty pack. They're going to throw it anyhow. McCoy takes a short drop, has man on man, goes to him, he's got him at midfield and down at the 40-yard line. That was a touchdown, saving tackle on Curtis March by Scott Lynch, who caught him. He could have busted free for the score.
See, they did a great job of defeating the 2 deep zone. Scott Lynch was just a step or 2 late of getting over there on the sideline fade pattern. You'll see the green jersey, the right side there. They don't roll up on him. He goes on down. They're playing zone. The safety right there is frozen by the man in the slot. He doesn't get there. Big play down the sideline. That's how you have to attack that zone defense.
The ball is inside the Colorado State 45. It's a 41-yard gain with Charlie Brown now back in. Utah moving against the wind. They'll have it at their back in the 4th quarter. They trail it by a point. And it's Brown. Huge hole left side. Brown will score. They won't catch him. Utah has the lead back.
Very, very good block by Lance Scott in the middle of the line, Brent. He turned the nose tackle right there. I think they were in an odd defense, and he read it and popped right up inside. Nice run by Charlie. Right up the middle, right at good blocks by that big Lance Scott inside there, and its quickness, he takes it home. They should go for 2 here. Yeah, they're going for 2. This is their first 2-point attempt this year.
Rob Hamilton, Dick, is in that backfield, and they'll show shotgun, and they move now. Look at this.
Holy mackerel.
Look at this formation they're going to line up in. Here is their 2-point play for Coach McBride. They bring it in motion.
They ought to call timeout.
They got him wide open. Hamilton for 2.
Credit Rick Rasnick, the offensive coordinator, for coming up with something I haven't seen. If I were on defense, I'd have called timeout. Say, wait a minute.
I love it.
Can't do that. That's not legal.
I love it. Folks, this is the first play all year that Dick Vermeil hasn't expected.
Hey, Brent, will you explain this one for me? I've never seen it before. What would you call it?
I want to tell you what it is when you're in Central Park. You say, you go over there, you come here, you break to the right, we'll get you open, and we'll throw the ball to you.
Rick Rasmussen,
you know where they got that play? They got that play from one of the fraternities back in school, man. That's what they use in the touch league.
Yeah, well, maybe that touch game we saw there on the field.
That's right.
Take a look right now. Middle of your screen, 56, Lance Scott does a nice job, turns them in there. There's good blocking on the linebackers. They can't make the play. He gets that good burst up inside. And Greg Myers, the safety, doesn't make the tackle.
I wonder if my buddy Rick Majerus back at Salt Lake's enjoying this one. You get ready with that basketball team. Boy, I tell you, you get Majerus and Coach McBride in that same town, you don't have any trouble getting some anecdotes out of the coaches around this.
I know that.
Well, we get word that there's over 4 minutes left here in the third, and suddenly it's gotten even wilder out here. It's 24-17, Utah back in the lead.
You know, Utah all year has been a very explosive second-half offensive team, especially in the fourth quarter.
Pulsifer to kick it off. Burkett and Ward back deep. This is Ward. He's at the 7 and coming out. Surrounded. And puts it down. Utah's got it.
Woo! Holy mackerel.
Number 42, Kenny Buss, a linebacker from Cedarburg, Wisconsin.
Here's the third string running back carrying the ball. He's got it locked up properly right there. He gets into that big pile, and it's just stripped out of there and knocked out of there by the man that recovered it. He knocked it out. Nice job by Kenny Buss.
First and 10 for Utah. The ball is inside the 20. Boy, I tell you. How fast it has turned in
Don't let
game.
anybody ever criticize the WAC conference to us again, will you?
Oh, I tell you, it's great.
Right when he sings.
Oh, baby. What a costly penalty that is.
Dumb mistake.
Oh, my.
5-yard penalty against the defense. First down.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Christmas comes early, Coach.
This could be the one that does it. When they look back on it, Coach, this is really critical. Give them a first and goal inside that 10-yard line.
Yeah, and the block punt, now they give him this.
They put it down there just close to the 7-yard line.
So far, though, they have not allowed adversity to bother them. They just buckle up and play harder.
Need a play now. Defense hit by Ragsdale.
Was that a nice tackle, or was that a nice tackle? Excellent job of fundamental football right there. If you're a high school linebacker watching this game today, you can model a tackle after Ragsdale's hit this time. Tossed it to him. He'll flash from the right side of your screen. Wham! Look at that. See, bend those knees, helmet up, extend that back. Love it.
Pure ecstasy for Coach Vermeil.
Tackles. That's what it's all about. Good coaching, too.
Second down and goal. All at the 5-yard line. I knew the coach would get credit before long. Stay right here with this one.
Well, Larry Kerr coaches those lines.
What are you doing out there?
You know, guys, you've sent me on some incredible missions, I'm telling you. But this is the scene of the college rodeos, the Skyline Stampede. And I tell you what, there's a great game going on about 400 yards away. But when they have the rodeo here, it's just as enthusiastic of a crowd. I brought some cows out. I was going to see if I could I brought some cows out in front here to see if I could maybe ride one or rope one, but they're a little bit faster than I am.
Hey, Jack. Hey,
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah. See, I got one.
Hey,
I got one.
Hey, Jack, one thing.
What?
When we go out tonight, take your shoes off before you get in my car.
Hey, I got your sirloin right here, Brent.
Hey, that's it now, Jack. Get him cornered now. You got to cut him. Jack, you need a horse. Oh, no. Jeez. Oh, God.
Change your coat, too, Jack.
Oh, send him to
I give up.
You're a good sport, Root. You're a good sport.
Nice job, Jack.
Good.
All right.
Boy,
Now we
I always
come-
knew he was full of bull.
Oh, baby, didn't he run with the Buffalo
He
up
ran
there?
real well for an all-offensive center. He ran pretty well.
I'm telling you what, man, there's nothing that he hasn't attempted in Colorado.
Well, we haven't seen him tonight.
Oh, baby, you gotta love it. 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line. We get word that it's 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. If we're lucky, they'll finish it by midnight. Now it's 24-17, and Utah trying to get another one. 3 receivers out to the left.
Coming after him.
And they're going to run Brown, and nothing doing as Brady Smith was there.
Smith. Nice job by Brady Smith. He leads the WAC, as we said earlier, in sacks. Now he ends up making a nice... Throw it out to the guy. Watch him throw it out there behind the... Nope, they're not going to.
Bringing him in motion. This time the corner stays at home. They look back now to the screen. They throw it for a touchdown. Holy cow, Rick Tucker scores on the screen off formation 0.
My gosh. Get our spotter. Let him describe this one. Hey. Oh, Coach McBride. Those San Jose State guys are really bright offensive coaches. You know? Woo!
It really is a neat game.
Unbelievable.
Remember, for a long time, this looked like a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Extra point is good for Pulsifer, and suddenly it is 31-17, and Utah with some daylight.
Now watch them shift. They get a full overload situation all the way up on top with 2 eligible receivers. The outside guy and the back guy both are eligible. The back guy comes in motion. Now they have a 2-man screen. They throw it to Tucker. They get a block downfield by John. That's Brown. Touchdown. Why didn't I think about that?
What a good-looking play that is. Because now keep in mind that they have used a man in motion coming back for 2. They curled it off into the right side.
Yeah.
Now they've thrown back to the man on the outside. Take another look at this.
Yeah. Here he is. Here's the eligible receiver right there. He comes back.
Dick, he's just outnumbered. What should
yeah.
they do defensively against this formation? I love it when you're speechless. I love it.
I don't know, Coach.
Right, back to return, and now Colorado State badly in need of some big plays. Here comes Ward. Ward with a crease out to the 28-yard line. Well, one thing we know with a minute 30 to go in the 3rd, the Colorado State kids not about to quit in this baby.
No way. They've just self-destructed.
They need a couple of quick scores. And, of course, next Saturday we've got more action coming your way. This state will be watching that. You don't have to remind them of what's ahead. That's the showdown. That should be the winner goes on to the Orange Bowl, shouldn't it? Penn State, meanwhile, trying to drive to the Rose Bowl. And call your cable operators pay-per-view. And Hill's going to put it right back on up to Olsen. And Olsen is out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
I think he's going to be attacking a Utah zone coverage now, which is not their basic way to play football. But with this type of a situation, 14-point lead going into the 4th quarter, they can be a little bit more conservative with their calls.
Well, last week we watched Auburn having put the tight end into their game plan for Florida. Today we come up with formation 0 on the part of Utah. First and 10, the draw play. And this is Karn. Karn running for another first down. Tough run.
They haven't stopped that draw play one time. The inside linebacker's going to have to make that play. It isn't that tough. He must be getting out of there much too quick. You can run it off a lineman and get up in there, but a linebacker should fill that. Max Resberg right there, number 55, should make that play right there. See, he doesn't make it. He's a little bit late getting there.
Colorado State into Utah territory. The ball is at the Utes' 47-yard line. And there's Karn, who has given him a good look here in the backfield. Hill straight back over the middle, wide open. And that is Terrence Zeno.
He's only caught 2 balls coming into here, but see, they went to that pure zone. He ran up there, he turned in the inside and just slid to the open. Good pass protection, though. That took a little time to develop. Good pass sets right there. He gets it right in that little zone hole behind the linebacker. Now he's a running back with the ball.
23 more yards for Zeno and the Rams. They're inside Utah's 25-yard line with the seconds ticking away here on the third quarter. Scoreboard clock has broken. We're unable to give you the official time, which is being kept by one of the officials down on the field right now. Karn bangs for a couple, but no more. Let's get an update on the Huskies. They had their hands full against Oregon. John Saunders.
They did for a time, Brent, but here, 3rd and 2. Richard Thomas gets the 2 and more. 10 yards on the touchdown run. 20-17 is the score at that point. Meantime, in the WAC, Fresno State blown out by Air Force. That'll be good news for both the teams at your game, Brent.
Yeah, exactly, John, because Fresno State still harbored a chance and a dream of winning the WAC this year. Brigham Young, though, probably is pulling for Utah to get this W against Colorado State. The Rams have already beaten BYU, but Utah and BYU don't play until later. And we're back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
This shop is very much different now. Ford customers told us what they wanted. We have people up on the drive that greet them as soon as they come in. Their car is written up within a few minutes, and once we get the repair order in hand, we got a pretty good idea where to go and what we're looking for. The top priority is fix it right the first time, on time. Quality care standards, it must work pretty good. We get letters, cards, a handshake now and then. You know, people let us know. This is what they want.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Tonight on the ABC Family Movie, John Ritter's a dad with his hands full because he's got the kid from heck. Ow. Problem Child 2 tonight.
Dakota Sport V6 has more. More horsepower, more shoulder room, more hip room, and more cargo room than a comparable Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. But you don't have to put everything you've got into it. Dakota Sport V6. A little bigger, a lot better. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
It takes more than talk to fight crime. It takes guts. Roy Romer took on liberals in his own party to strengthen the death penalty and fought the gun lobby to take handguns away from violent kids. Romer's built new prisons, created no parole boot camps for violent youth, and doubled the number of criminals behind bars. Doubled. And he signed 3 strikes and you're out to get violent criminals off our streets for good. In Colorado, a life sentence for murder now means a life in jail. No parole. Roy Romer, fighting the right fights for Colorado.
All the scores from Tom Green tonight on 9 News.
always some great scenes here in Fort Collins. Pretty soon we'll get Jack Arute to go out there after that. See if he can retrieve it for us. Second down now and 8. Scoreboard clock is operating. Final 15 minutes. Utah 31. Colorado State 17. The Rams are driving right now as we start the final 15 minutes. Anthony Hill backfires. Olsen got it 5-yard line. First and goal, Colorado State.
Boy, with that man-to-man coverage, you should do everything you can as a corner not to allow him to get underneath you and inside. And Lurie, who's played a real good football game, allows Olsen to get back inside on that coverage. When you don't have help inside, you prefer not to let him get there.
Van Ward checks into the lineup for the Rams. Olsen and Zeno go out to the left. Burkett is down to the right. Ward is the running back now on first and goal. On the option, look at Ward. Touchdown, Colorado State.
There's that option. 2 receivers go block the defenders that are covering them one-on-one, and he just pitches it out, and no one on him. He comes right down. See, they don't block the end man on the line of scrimmage. They flip it out. The 2 men that were in the slot are blocking the defenders downfield, and he takes it in for the score. They should kick this one. They should kick this one here.
Napier on the field to do just that. This would leave them within 7. And it can be returned, remember. Luss coming out, and he'll be tackled on that far side.
That was a very, very low kick, Brent.
And that was also a huge moment in this game as Kafusi was able to get in there again. He blocked a field goal. Now he does it to an extra point. He leaves them at an 8-point disadvantage.
See, and now they don't have a choice if they score again for that 2-point conversion attempt. Again, it was a low kick. Kafusi getting up real high in the middle there, number 99, but it was below him. Could have hit him in the belly button. There's Mr. Kafusi. He walked on here, came out of Dixie Junior College, 15 sacks out of junior college, East High School. Actually, it was his brother Henry that walked on before him. Got a lot of members of his family in Utah.
A lot of push-ups down there by the guardsmen, huh? Every point.
They got everything in this conference. The guys that shoot the cannon, they do push-ups.
Keep in good shape, Coach.
Yeah.
Never can tell when Wyoming might invade Colorado. Now let's see what's going to happen here on this kickoff. They're setting up like it. Juggling the formation and just changing sides is what they're doing. They're trying to hide some of the speed coming down the field. The way things have gone, who knows? Maybe we'll see an early onside kick. You wouldn't think so, but we are in the whack. Curtis Marsh is back deep with Cal Beck, and Napier has the ball on the tee. It's an 8-point Utah lead, 31-23. Short kickoff. From the 15, it's fumbled by Beck. Down at the 16-yard line. Jack Arute.
Hey, Brent, do you see the outfit on head coach Ron McBride? You see the way he's decked out? Well, he's been wearing that outfit since the beginning of the season. You see, he's one of those superstitious type coaches and will continue to wear the same clothing as long as his team is winning. Now, he told me a couple of days, or yesterday, that one time it went so far as he had a blue suit and they were on an unbeaten streak and they had to wear that blue suit to BYU. You know the colors of BYU, they're blue. He said, we lost and I finally got to take a shower. I'm going to see if I can save him a stall when I go get cleaned up.
Wondered why he was so all alone on the team bus this morning. Now I know. McCoy snaps one off down into the hands of Claiborne. Claiborne makes his way to the 23-yard line. And
you know, you're talking about Coach McBride. He has a great philosophy. They call it the Ma-Fu philosophy, Brent. Ma-Fu, believe that or not.
What does that mean, man?
Well, it means mental toughness for the end, A is for aggressiveness, F is for fanatical effort, and U is for unity. That's McBride's Mafu philosophy.
Mafu leading 31-23 right now. Here's McCoy down the middle, almost intercepted. He had Kozlowski right there.
And Dave is the kind of kid that normally makes those kind of catches. You know, he's a good, tough possession receiver. They read the coverage perfectly. It was the zone coverage, double zone down there, and he threw it. Just, you know, you can't throw it any better. He's just got to make the catch.
Yeah, some way Bama finds a way, and it's Sherman Williams who rattles it in there. Washington doing the same. Oregon hanging tough at home. Oh, the season went bad for UCLA after all those injuries, didn't it? It sure did. Syracuse leads Temple by a couple of scores. Now it is 3rd and 3 for Utah. Big defensive play here for the Rams. McCoy might not have it. Now they have forced the punt. Garrett Sand, number 30, making another strong effort here for the Rams.
Well, Sonny Lubick said the key for them to be successful today was tackle receivers after they catch it. And boy, they've done a good job of that, Brent. Just a good hard smack right there prevented the first down.
Everybody hang on. Jason Jones punting again, and Myers back to return. State ball on the block at the 16-yard line. They've done it again. Darren Claiborne coming out of there with the football.
I think it was Adrian Ross, an inside linebacker, that got it, number 41, or a defensive lineman. Woo! No excuses for getting so many punts blocked. What did Eric Persigan coach for how many years and never had one block? There it is. Ross, number 41, coming right up the gut. See, when you turn people loose like that, they're going to get a block. That's not the punter's fault. Adrian Ross doing a nice job.
Now Colorado State can strike quickly here in the 4th. 12:56 to go, down by 8. 3 wide receivers. Cairn into the middle, plows straight ahead for 2-3 yards.
Jason, I can't believe we're seeing so many punts blocked.
You mentioned the key point about Ara Parsegan's career. Through all his days head coach at Miami, Northwestern, Notre Dame, he never, ever had a single punt blocked. It's a remarkable statistic.
It is. But the ratio in the National Football League is about 1 every 125 punts is blocked.
You know what Coach,
that today.
You know what Coach McBride said after that block punt?
I can't repeat it on the air.
Amafu.
Yeah.
2nd down and 7 now. Inside center pass. And they bust it. To the 1-yard line goes Van Ward. 1st and goal, the Rams.
That's a real well-conceived play and much easier to run from that type of formation, Brent. See, he's back there. He moves parallel to the line of scrimmage, off the line of scrimmage. The offensive tackle sets deep. You'll see him right here now. The right offensive tackle, 77, Rogowski will set deep. They flip it right up inside there and let that defensive end get up in there. Well done.
I'll tell you who invented it was Utah. Didn't Lee Grosscup design that play originally?
Yes, he did. Jack Curtis.
Goal.
Jack Curtis was his coach.
And Ward's the running back. Ward up over the top. Just short. They unpile him. The linesman coming down the line now, and this would make a 2nd and goal. You've got to believe with Hill's ability to run that he can make it happen down here. A typical wild one in the whack. Now 2nd and goal, and Karn the running back this time. Hill over the top. He's smacked by the middle of that defense. Woo! He was hit head-on quickly. Mark Rexford helping out on that play.
Boy, I tell you, they drove his helmet right down into his shoulder pads. Boy, he popped them quick.
Jeff Kafusi was there.
Look at him. He's a, where am I? Holy mackerel, did he get popped. The right side of your screen, you see the linebacker. Wham! Nice job by Rexford. They're better off probably handling it off tackle over here to the left.
Now Van Ward comes in off the Colorado State sideline. Lubick's team needing a touchdown, trailing it by 8, 10:57 to go. It's 3rd and goal. Ward, touchdown, Colorado State.
Now they have a decision now.
No decision.
No
they
decision.
gotta go
for two. Go for two. Let's see if they can come up with a formation 0 play. They're 1 for 1 in 2-point conversions this year. They ran it in.
3 yards can be tough against this defense.
Oh, you bet. With a mobile quarterback, chances are you ought to get him on the corner, Brent. Get him outside.
Now they put it down on the left hash mark.
Looks like they're going to bring a guy in motion by how they lined up over here.
They bring him toward the right hand. He's outnumbered defensively on this side. Already Utah has more defenders, far more on the left side of the formation, as time had run out on the play. Oh, what a mistake this is. This is going to cost Lubick 5 yards.
And you go to a totally different kind of offensive play now. There's Coach Lay right there, David Lay. He's upset that they didn't get it off. See, but now you go away from a 2-point type play to a red zone type pass inside the 10-yard line. Maybe a little bit easier to execute in certain situations.
Well, it certainly gives the receiver on a slant pattern a little more room to cut it inside, and if they roll Hill on the outside,
they're lining up the same way. Lining up the same way as they did before. Let's see if they bring the man in motion. Yeah, here he comes in motion.
Hill now going to roll back to the left side and throw the tight end for the deuce. Justin Shaw, very well conceived play. They rolled away from the strength of the formation.
Gave him the fake to the strength, Brent. Again, misdirection being very effective.
All you can say is, welcome to the WAC.
Wow. Look at the size of this place. A guy who didn't know what he was doing could sure get himself in a lot of trouble here. But hey, I'm sure you'll pick one out. I mean, how hard could it be? Like these guys. They used to make a heck of a movie projector. And anyway, if something does go wrong, I'm sure a handy guy like you can probably just fix it yourself. But as long as you're here, maybe you ought to just look at an IBM.
Familiar as blue jeans, Hollywood chase scenes, as timeless as pop flies, and you know who's blue eyes. It's always been true.
Just for you, a taste you'll find in no other beer at any price. Beechwood Aged Budweiser.
It's always been true. My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light.
These are the men and women who make Chevy trucks.
I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Considering the quality of our people, it's no wonder they build the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Oh, like a rock.
Undefeated Penn State hosts Big Ten rival Ohio State or other regional action. It's Game 2 of an ABC college football doubleheader next Saturday.
10:42 to go. Utah and Colorado State, 2 of the 9 unbeatens in the country, deadlocked at 31. As good as advertised. Short kickoff. Fielded at the 24-yard line. Ridden down at the 30 goes LaPelle.
They did a real good job on this misdirection play. They start it one way.
little bit after that, the linebacker who was assigned to the tight end, Kirkman, got into it with Whittingham over the coverage.
See, he was locked onto the tight end who caught the two-point play, Brent.
And it was not a happy scene on that Utah sideline. 1st and 10 now for McCoy and the Utes. Completes a first down pass for 4 yards to Rob Hamilton out of the backfield.
Here's that two-point conversion. They send the man in motion right here. All right, and then they start the misdirection. See, and they'll space it now. Now, he got the freeze it right there. You'll see the tight end blocking right here on the linebacker. Now he'll release underneath. There he goes. He throws him off, and there he is. Well-conceived play. Very, very, very tough to defense.
2nd and 6 now for Utah. Draw play. Brown. Still moving down at the 35. It'll be 3rd and 5. Andre Strode with the stop.
The one thing he doesn't want to do is fumble it. He was carrying the ball with both hands wrapped around it. Charlie did not want to turn that one over. Here he is coming right at us. Deep back there. They hand off the draw. He bounces to the right. Look at both hands wrapped on that foot. Tough to run real good with both hands wrapped on it. You need one free, but he was being real cautious. Score by quarters. Look at that.
32 points in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 5. McCoy, first down. Claiborne across to the 43-yard line with 9:10 to go. The Utes on the move.
You know, they've tried that play about 3 or 4 different times, completed it. It was one that the receiver dropped a few minutes ago. Different receiver this time. And he almost ran that pattern as if he knew what was going to be there because he caught the ball and made the man miss him as soon as he caught the football. Good anticipation by Claiborne.
Hit from behind by Hawkins.
He looked like he was offsides. I really think he was offsides. Hawkins is quick. I think Hawkins was the guy that was offsides on that field goal attempt too. But he's quick. He's a redshirt freshman. Here he is, number 74. I thought he was moving, and in the inside there, yeah, he is. He's quick, but I think he was just a hair quicker.
2nd down and 12 as the linesman doesn't pick it up. Leno back. The 4 wideouts on 2nd and long. McCoy gets protection. Finds the middle wide open. First down for Charlie Brown, who was the additional wide receiver.
Boy, when they get you spread all over the field like that, Brent, and you're playing zone defense, it's not too hard. Now, number 23 is in the slot. Charlie Brown, he's the running back. See, now he's letting him clear out, and he comes underneath it. See, and they just pop him the football. Actually, one of the defenders fell down, or he might have been right there in his face.
The ball at the Colorado State 41-yard line. Just inside of 8 minutes to go. Deadlocked at 31. Now they run the toss with Brown. Brown tried to find the left corner, and it was a good tackle by Smith.
Real nice job by Brady Smith. He's 6'6", 240, playing on a guy 6'5", 320, is big enough to eat hay, and does a real good job on him. Right here. Watch this matchup right here. Takes the kid with a lot of guts. Keep his pads down right there. Now watch him work inside out. That's a big man he's playing on. He comes off it and gets involved and make the play. Nice job by Brady Smith.
Big difference there. McCoy slips one out. It's Marsh. Penalty flag. Marsh to the 22-yard line.
You know, Marsh is their big playmaker, but we haven't mentioned his name much today. They haven't gotten him the football. He came in here with 7 touchdowns on the season.
And Holding brings that one back. Big penalty.
When you're coaching and you're on the road and you see these holding penalties go against you, you say, oh gosh, do I wish I was playing at home. You can't help but not have that feeling as a coach. You can call holding so often in a ball game nowadays with how they allow people to use their hands and extend them like that. It just seems like they've had too many go against Utah.
Well, a reminder that our Monday night game between Houston and Philadelphia will start at 9 Eastern time here on ABC. Right now we have a 2nd and 16. 4 wide receivers for McCoy. Brown is his running back. McCoy fires. Kozlowski inside the 30 for a first down.
Hey, you know, they had a real good pass rush on him too, Brent, but he has that feel to slide up in the little crease that he can find a passing lane and throw the ball downfield. I am very impressed with Mike McCoy under pressure. I can see why he is thrown for 6,900 and something yards coming into this ball game.
I'll tell you, one of the things that's happened here in the second half is how the wind has died down a little bit. It has blown itself out, what there was of it. 6:30 to go now. That little breeze is at Utah's back here in the final quarter. Ball inside Colorado State's 30.
Nice
Tripped
job.
up at the 26. Brady Smith again, numbered 91 here in the fourth quarter.
Playing his guts out. Just a junior. He'll be back next year. How'd they ever let him get out of Illinois? Burlington, Illinois.
The Illini trying to come back on Michigan. They just got another touchdown, so they're in hot pursuit. And there is the
Illinois, good football team. Illinois, we've seen them. We've seen them play very well.
Barrington, Illinois, is horse country. That's why I want to come out here. 2nd down and 9. Charlie Brown, the running back. And it's McCoy for Marston. At the 20-yard line, Derek Marston makes his first catch, lined up at tight end on the left side of the formation. Garrett Sand with the stop.
Rick Rasnick told me, the offensive coordinator for Utah, and coming in there, they plan to use Marston a little bit more because he also has the ability to go out and be a wide receiver. He's one of those quick, big tight ends, and they can vary formations without substituting with that man in there.
Dick, interesting situation. It's 3rd and 2 at the... Just right down by the Colorado State 20-yard line. Rob Hamilton is the running back. 4 wide receivers.
They're coming after him.
And McCoy will throw against it. First down, Claiborne inside the 15-yard line.
Boy, they blitzed it. They had the tight coverage. Good little slant look in. I'm not so sure that isn't a hot receiver principle, Brent. When they see the linebacker disappear inside, the inside slot receivers just slam inside and they try to pop him the football. I think McCoy here, Mr. McCoy, is going to play for a long time on Sunday afternoons, Brent.
Really?
He's got a lot of poise. I don't know how strong his arm is, but I'll tell you, he's accurate, he's poised, he knows exactly what he's doing, extremely well coached.
It's 1st and 10 now. 2 wideouts for McCoy, off to the right. Brown gets the handoff behind the left side and gets no more than a yard.
I can't believe that, Brady Smith. He's given away I don't know how many pounds, and he took Anthony Brown that time and stuffed him. Good job, Brady. I bet your defensive line coach likes you.
Oregon back into the lead in Eugene by 4 over Washington. There's the Michigan lead over Illinois. Time has to be running down in that one. And Arizona, a 10-point winner today over UCLA. Now we get a 2nd and 9. 4:09. Utah would hate to take just a field goal lead the way Colorado State has moved that ball the last couple of times they've had it. Now McCoy in trouble. Moves to the right-hand side. Needs to throw it incomplete if he can't find a receiver. Throws it down and completes it to Claiborne. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That kid wanted to throw the ball back across the grain, couldn't see anybody, still had presence of mind to regain his, and boom, throw a strike right down and right in front of him. Unbelievable.
Now, this drive has brought the clock all the way down to the 3:51 mark as we take another look here with Claiborne, the receiver.
See, he wanted to throw left. Now he's forced to run. They got Sean Moran chasing him right there. He sets up. He wants to throw left. It's not there. He turns and throws it right. Completed pass. Beautiful.
Now it's 3rd and 3. Don't make this, and they'll probably have to kick a field goal over there from the right hash mark.
Thing he doesn't want to do is turn it over.
He's going to fade it to the corner. Got him. Touchdown, Utah. Curtis Marsh.
See, you have Curtis Marsh at 6'2" on Andre Strode at 5'8". That's a pretty good call. That's the way to set your game plan. You got a flag down there?
Dick, I think that there was an inadvertent flag, and they picked it up. And there's a wonderful scene with the coach and the quarterback. The touchdown stands.
But that's good game planning, too. You've got the big, tall guy. Put him on a real good corner. Andre Strode is an excellent corner, but he's short.
Now here's Danny Pulsifer. He adds the extra point. A lot of time left for the Rams. Remember, this is the whack. It ain't over yet. There it was, the fade. Marsh went and got it in the corner. And that's our difference right now.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Blazer, the only sport utility vehicle with a driver control system. It's nice to know it's here.
No, my plane's stuck somewhere back
The flight has been canceled. The 5 most hated words of every business traveler. On a day like this, I know it's not the airline's fault. Still, I just want somebody to give me some answers.
Let's see if we can reroute you to another city.
Those are the people I come back to. They try and find a way and give me my best option, maybe even on another airline. I appreciate that, because a little honesty goes a long way. Tell Billy by halftime, I'll be there.
My dandruff and itch are awful. I'll try anything. Denorex tingles. Head and Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denorex has something extra that tingles, feels fresh.
That's why I started using Denorex. No flakes, no itch.
Denorex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
Don't miss Goodyear's big tire sale and 25% savings on 4 of our most popular radials for passenger cars and light trucks. But you gotta hurry. The big tire sale ends November 5th at participating Goodyear retailers.
Well, there we are, the top 25. Penn State is idle. Nebraska with the victory, and Colorado going to tee it up here a little bit against Kansas State. Auburn off, and Florida is idle. So Colorado will attempt to make a statement. They play Nebraska next week. There's the second 10. And here in Fort Collins, we get word that Michigan just put up a W against Illinois. That one's over in the Big Ten. And we welcome you back to the World League. I mean the WAC. It's 38-31, but it has been like one of those crazy games of old. McCoy on that go-ahead drive, incidentally, was 9 and 9 for 77 yards and the touchdown. This will be down in the end zone. It's coming out of the 20-yard line. And now Colorado State with 3:46 to work with. The wind has died down. Works a little bit of their advantage. They got the playmaker here, Anthony Hill. There, the offensive coordinator over on the side now sending in the package. Now, up here in the booth, we were talking about a situation that Colorado State could face. If they punch one in, do they go for 2 in the W or the 1 for the tie? Now, not so fast, those of you who say you got to win it. Remember, Utah still has a game against Brigham Young, and you got to have a desire to win the WAC. So Coach Lubick and his staff hope that they have to make that decision. 1st and 10 now, coming out from the 20-yard line. And off a fake, Hill buys time, fires into coverage, and a very dangerous throw with Kirkman right there.
He didn't want to throw it there, but the coverage took away that little play-action pass pattern outside to Olsen. Good coverage that time.
And Oregon gets him another one, and there's that final we just told you about with Michigan. Winning in Champaign, never an easy place against that defense. 2nd down and 10. Olsen spread out to the left-hand side. Bernard Karn, the running back. Anthony Hill in trouble. Steps away, on the move. Penalty flag is down. Was he past the line? I don't think so. Let's wait and see what the penalty call was.
I thought he got hooked in the face mask initially as the pass rusher went by him.
I think that's what happened. That's exactly what it is.
He went back, and the rush came from his right side. He gets set up. He doesn't see. He's looking left all the way. Actually, right there, it's Bronzell Miller, number 36, that got it from the left side. I thought I saw that, but...
Good eyes, Coach.
Ronzel Miller's been, you haven't really heard his name much today. Pat Meyer doing a good job over there at that left tackle spot.
3.5 minutes. The Rams with 2 timeouts left. Largest crowd in the history of Hughes Stadium, and they are still with us, folks.
Utah didn't plan to come in here and play any nickel defense either, Brent, so they have linebackers in there and only the 4 defensive backs.
1st and 10 for Hill and Colorado State. Option look, toss to Cairn. Cairn at the corner, bounces for about 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 4, and Jason Hook's covering.
Chances are they won't play that same coverage that they just played, Brent, but if they do, and you're sitting up here in the press box, you ought to come down and attack toward the slot wide side of the field. A lot of room to throw the ball when you have that zone spread out that far. Coach David Lay right there. A lot of experience running offenses. Coach Whittingham right there. A lot of experience running defenses. Looks awfully loose down here, Brent.
2nd down and 4, and Hill firing. Intercepted by Leary, who picked off 2 in the first half, and he could have had a 3rd one that time.
They went to the right spot. Coming back over in there.
Colorado State with a 10-game winning streak, one of the longest in the country, and here at the top of the hour we find it in jeopardy because Utah leads it 38-31 with 2:36 to go. This is a 3rd and 4. Welcome those of you who've just joined us. I know it is 5 o'clock here, Rocky Mountain time. Could be a wild ending. Colorado State with the ball. This is a 3rd down. They get the 1st down. Ward to the 47-yard line, and 2:30 to go, and Colorado State not finished.
Excellent call, excellent changeup right there. Just again, they've had very good success going right at them, straight at them. Good man blocking, quickness play, and I'll tell you, good call, good call.
So Washington loses today.
Big win for Rich Brooks at the University of Oregon. Remember, Utah beat University of Oregon.
Went into Eugene and won that game. The WAC has done some business on the Pac-10 this year. 6-2, I believe they are overall. 1st and 10 now, and Hill is back. Got an open man. He was down on his knees when he caught the ball down at the 40, short of the 1st down.
So Utah, again, now staying in their zone coverages, very leery of the man-to-man, which is their basic way that they like to play. They like to play man-to-man with the free safety. When they loosen up in these situations, they play the 3-deep zone.
Going to take a break. Rams use one of their 2. 1:56 left. 38-31, Utah.
Isn't too worried about how to invest for Zach's college education. That's because he works with a broker from Dean Witter.
We measure success one investor at a time.
How much closer are our precision heads? Our innovative lift and cut system? How much better is the latest Norelco? In a word, we've never brought you closer. The Norelco Razor, our closest shave ever.
The BMW 325i, the Volvo 740, the Mercedes 190. Forget it. Introducing the all-new Chevy ZR2 Extended Cab, the official pace car of the next generation.
CFA College Football on ABC, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Payne Weber, we believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. Zima, a unique alcohol beverage. And IBM, there is a difference. What a lovely time of the year to be in Fort Collins, Colorado, and what a celebration there'll be tonight at Seabay Potts. That's where the coach has his radio show every week, and it's become one of the big attractions here in the state of Colorado. 1:56 to go now. Second down and 3. Anthony Hill gonna go deep, going for it. Olsen, incomplete. John Saunders, give us an update here, partner.
Well, Brent, the Huskies and the Ducks, quite a finish. Ducks up by 4. Damon Heward going for the go-ahead touchdown, but Kenny Wheaton picks it off. He's off to the races down the sideline. One move there and no one left to beat. 96 yards for the touchdown. The Ducks' first win over the Huskies since 1988. 31-20 is the final. Brent.
What a victory for Coach Brooks here. 3rd and 3, shotgun. Anthony Hill's going to try to create it on the run. That inside shuttle. He was going to try to run for it. He was going to try to take off over there and do it all by himself, and then realize nothing doing. He had to throw an incompletion and get it back to the line of scrimmage. That's what he was thinking. And now suddenly it comes down to 4th and 3. Dick, my question to you is, how come not come over here and attack the wide side at least once in this
I've been looking at that and waiting for him to do that, Brent. I think that last play they were trying to run that inside shuffle play again, and they picked off the inside shuffle man. He had one to pitch it to.
And so he was forced to go outside.
He was forced to go out there.
So here it is. And that's Ward stepping out.
There's no one lined up on the outside guy. Get it?
There he is.
There he is.
Ward, 30, 20.
He tripping. That was tripping. He tripped him and got away with it. I saw that, Brent. They didn't line up. Every once in a while you see that. They got him the ball almost too late, but he breaks it. See him right here, no one lined up on him. Look at the linebacker. He's saying, hey, get over there, get over there. So they get him the ball quickly. Good heads-up play. Now, Warren Harrison, number 24, tripping right here. To the right side of your screen. See him right there? That's a penalty.
So they get 16 on 4th and 3. Now it is 1st and 10. The ball is inside the Utah 25. 1:22 and one timeout working now. Hill takes off to the left side. Hill's going to run it out of bounds and stop the clock. And this will leave it 2nd and 11 now at the 1:14 mark.
They're too left-handed in this whole thing, Brent. They got to get down here to the wide side of the field with the football. It's just more room to defense down here at this end.
Now Harrison comes in and Hooks comes back out.
But you mentioned, though, he almost looks like he prefers working to his left.
Yeah, he just seems more comfortable when he's
throwing left and working left. Yeah.
Out in that direction. And if it is a comfort zone that the coaches are aware of, you really want to put him in that. I mean, you can't criticize that. But now they give him Burkett over here in the slot.
But now he's got the single coverage up on top.
And he's got Phillips, so he's got man-on-man to the left side now. At 1:15, he's going to go back to it. He's got him. Olsen, first down, out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
Sitting up here, if you've got an experienced quarterback and you can read coverages, and that's just what he did that time. They rolled the coverage over to the strong side this time, and he goes over against the single coverage. Excellent job.
There's our situation. The Rams trail it by 7. Olsen with 8 catches for 118 yards and 1 touchdown. 4 wide receivers. Ward is the running back.
And their zone coverage down at the bottom here again, Brent. A lot of room to the right side.
They'll run Ward. Ward slips a tackle. Utah goes after it. And Colorado State dodges a bullet. They use their last timeout.
56 seconds.
So it was big Rogowski there who was able to recover the fumble. It was coming loose from Ward, and Rogowski saves the day. We'll be right back.
People People tell us we beat up our trucks more in our commercials than they'd ever dream of. Well, they should be on one of our assembly lines when we snatch a truck at random and literally rip it limb from limb to test every body weld in a Chevy truck. All 1,437 of them. But for those of you who think there's too much violence on TV, these next few seconds are for you. Time's up.
I was shocked to learn that most ordinary credit cards charge interest from the moment you buy something, if you carry a balance as little as $1. Thankfully, American Express has introduced a new credit card called the Optima True Grace Card. You get an interest-free grace period on each new purchase, even when you carry a balance. It's a good thing. But don't just throw away your old credit cards. Recycle them. I'm retiling my pool. Apply today and cut your interest charges.
There are lots of reasons to buy life insurance. Here are two great ones. I'm State Farm Agent Mike Foley. As the Goff family has grown, so have their life insurance needs. That's why we get together for family insurance checkups. I make sure to explain all the options, then they decide on the plan that's right for them. Ask your State Farm agent for a family insurance checkup. It's a great way to learn about life.
So the other unbeaten in Colorado, big one, Nebraska. That starts our doubleheader next Saturday on ABC. Then your doubleheader games. You'll see the list of teams, regional coverage. Call your cable operators, ask for pay-per-view. We want to show you the moment for Big Rogowski because he saved it as Colorado State dodges the bullet. Here's the ball coming free. Now as 77 kind of turns into your screen there, and you will watch him. He goes down and pounces on the loose football. Now they come up. 2nd and 8. The ball is at the 10-yard line. Anthony Hill, he's an eligible receiver if they elect to use him as one. Off a fake end zone. Olsen grabs it out of bounds. Incomplete. 51 seconds. Garrett with the coverage.
They just tried to lay it up at the back corner of the end zone. Good job there. Darn, there came down with it anyway, and he was still in bounds. Couldn't get both hands on the ball.
Dick, if I'm going to use the 3rd down, the throwback, here it is. I'm going to use a little trickery on the 3rd down play with 8 to go. This would be the time. The wide side to the right is all open. Hill. Receiver covered, throws it up for grabs, and it has come down to 4th down at the 44-second mark.
I still think, Brent, they ought to be attacking the wide field some. The shorter side of the field is easier to defense for the defender. There's just, less space. They've got them spread out all the way over here. They're going to cover 2. Cover 2 normally means double zone. I kind of doubt you'd see that there, so probably means something else.
Here it comes. 4th down. Hill rolling to his left. Hill fires. Intercepted. Utah picks it off. Harold Lusk with the interception, running free, and Lusk can go the distance. Midfield, he'll score. They won't touch him. Utah is going to win and stay unbeaten. Colorado State with a 100-yard interception return for a touchdown on 4th down. The Utes have come into Fort Collins, and they've done it. The defense picked off 2 passes for touchdowns today, and here is the second one, Dick.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when you're rolling to your left and throwing back across your body like that, it's hard to see what everybody else is doing on defense. And Mr. Luss saw what to do. He picks it off and runs it all the way back. Here he was, a quarterback halfway through the season last year. They moved him back to the safety position. He says he'd rather be a quarterback, but I think right now he's glad he's a safety.
Well, a little bit earlier today, that was not the scene. Those two were not hugging and embracing. A stunner for the young men from Colorado State who have given everything and even more this year.
They've just broken down too many times in the kicking game, Brent. Field goals blocked, punt blocked. They allowed them to play on the short field. Really, I think they've really, from terms of just play football, they've probably the better team.
Utah adds the extra point. While we have an opportunity, the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game, we're going to give them to the 2 quarterbacks. Mike McCoy from Utah and Anthony Hill from Colorado State. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Mike McCoy was near perfect on the touchdown drive that put Utah ahead in this game.
This will only be a 1-week setback for these kids. They've shown so much character all year that they'll come back, and I'll tell you, they'll play like hell next week and the rest of the way this season. And it's still a real fine football team and a team, as you can see by this shot, that really, really cares.
Well, they get next week off, and then a big one here in Hughes when Wyoming comes a-calling. That has been one of Colorado State's arch rivals, the Cowpokes and the Rams.
Boy, Sonny Lubeck and his staff have done a great job, as Ron McBride and his staff have done a great job. There's Coach Sonny right there.
Final 22 seconds. That's Burkett. And Burkett down at the 28-yard line. And that's going to bring us to one final play.
Well, it's Colorado. They like their coach, don't they?
Both these guys, players, coaches.
Oh, you bet. They love their coaches. Yeah, you bet. They love their coaches, these players do.
Sonny Lubeck out of Butte, Montana, coached at Montana State. High and incomplete. Leary. Coverage over here on the sideline, and for the youngsters, it'll ache a little bit until tomorrow morning, and they're resilient. They'll come bouncing back.
Oh, yeah. You know something? Sometimes you get better going through adversity like this. They really will. When they look at those films, they'll really believe they should have won this football game. Because they ran the ball so well. They threw the ball so well. They broke down in other areas of the game. But, I mean, they shut down Utah's running game for the most part.
Well, we certainly want to thank all those folks here in Fort Collins, Colorado State, and Utah for all their help. Jack Arute for his bulldogging. And
you know, in coaching, Brent, I've said this many times, a coach through his career loses more games he should have won than wins games he should have lost. And this might be one of those today. I know how you feel, Sonny.
76 points scored here today. Those who figured it was going to be low-scoring, defensive all the way, wasn't to be. That's going to do it.